Welcome to Modern Mythology, a podcast that explores how story and system push and pull on one another. In every episode, 2 to 4 of our 4-person crew, and the occasional guest, chew through moments of play, asking what hit, what missed, and why.
Thank you guys for joining me. We are going to play Mothership, which, I've been sort of excited to do so for a while. There's a lot of hubbub about it. Never mind Mothership Month, where it was like 30 different kits or backer kits, along with theirs. Theirs was interesting. I was so tempted to get it too. So it's called Origins of Sin, I believe. And what it was a setting, which is, I think, a station, if I'm not mistaken. And then it's like 200 pages, and 100 of those is this premise of bounties, where each page is a new bounty, right? But I thought that
like missions.
Yeah, like missions. So I thought that was kind of cool. We're not doing those, though. We are going to be doing something called the Light Beyond to sort of test Mothership's story chops. I will say that we'll talk about it later, but the Warden's Operation Manual really does have a lot of story-driven narrative suggestions for how to create stuff. I haven't really dug too much into all the third-party stuff. I'm very curious how much content creators, not only fans, third-party people, how much they follow that guide, or they're just like, I know how to make, scenarios. But I followed the guide pretty religiously.
Well, look at Dungeon Master's guide for D&D.
Yes, exactly. So we are going to start. I'm just going to read out. This is on our Discord, but I'm going to read this out just for our setting, because Mothership is, of course, setting agnostic. So what I did is I overlaid the setting for Coriolis. So here we go. You are a crew of bounty hunters. You are a ship with a crew of 12. There are a mix. This is important. 3-1 Zenithians versus first comers. Okay?
You can explain what they are? We're going to after.
It's coming.
Okay.
It's coming. But it's important because when out of the 12 people, when you decide, it's going to mark those off. So if all 3 of you decide to be Zenithians, and then your next set of characters, which you will inevitably go through, pick all Zenithians, then everybody else is going to be first comers. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. There's also only one android on the ship, and that android's name is Zoli.
Zoli.
Just so you're aware.
And we know he's an android,
and
right?
You know Zoli is an android. There are a mix of 6 Marines, 2 scientists, 3 Teamsters, and 1 android. Your captain is Osiris Locke, a veteran of a dozen armed conflicts, and is well respected. He has a child, Yara, that travels with him and usually stays on the ship for missions. Each system you arrive at, you contact the Legion and the Church of the Icons for bounties. You do what work you can within each system until a lucrative offer takes you outside. The Legion and the Church of Icons are 2 of the larger factions. Mm-hmm. The Legion is ostensibly the military and then interstellar police force, more or less, for, people can ostensibly hire them. They're basically a
mercenary group.
No, not mercenaries. They're I get where you're coming from. They're basically like police for hire, so.
Like a security force.
So like a security force, right? Church of the Icons. The Icons are religious entities, or sort of like archetypes that everybody worships. There's 12 of them. There's like the deckhand, the faceless. There's the judge, the messenger, the merchant, the child, blah, 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 blah. And they're pretty unilaterally worshipped. And some groups focus on one or the other. But in a ship, it's pretty common to have like a shrine or chapel to the icons. Okay?
And the icons are real.
It's pretty irrefutable that the deities are real. Praying means something. Historically speaking, you come from a group of frontiersmen who left a set of systems that devolved into war amongst themselves. Your cultures came from the Middle East on Earth nearly 2,000 years ago. First comers arrived through newly found jump portals and discovered 24 systems and twice as many worlds. Your people are a multitude of 500-year-old cultures spread across all of these worlds. You travel a little bit. It's rare, and your cultures tend to be very insular. Zenithians arrived on a generation ship that left hundreds of years before the first comers, but never found the portals. They set up shop in the center of the third horizon. That's what this whole system is called. Set of systems, scudded their generation ship, and created a space station for intra-system commerce called the Coriolis. Zenithians are all about commerce and space travel, and the first comers are more about planetary life and are a little bit more superstitious. You worship archetypes called the icons. It is obvious to everyone the icons exist and answer the prayers of believers. Jump portals were created by another civilization long before the first comers got here. Being awake during a portal jump is very dangerous. People go mad doing so. All ships expected to go through portals are equipped with stasis pods. There are often chapels in a ship to pray at, especially before portal jumps. Osiris Locke.
Got some facial.
Or the captain.
That is the captain.
Usually stays on the ship during missions.
Yeah.
Sometimes comes just on a mission.
I have one second question, just because I'm a Marine. Are we still like enlisted, or are we like,
You are not.
Okay.
You are all bounty hunters. You are not part of the Legion or anything like that.
Can't call us a former Marine though.
And you can decide whether or not you were or were not part of the Legion. Once you decide, and you should write on your character sheet, you should decide whether you're a Zenithian or a first comer. If you're a first comer, it's very likely that you were part of some sort of military force on the planet that you came from.
The ship is called the Fearless. It holds a crew of 12, but currently has 10 on board, plus a bounty, in finger quotes, or those regular quotes. The captain is Osiris Locke, roll 1d10. That is how many years you have known him. Is that for
everybody? Everybody rolls a d10, 1d10, and that's how many years you've known Captain.
8.
8 years.
Nice.
8 also.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. So that you guys
Oh, look at that.
all roll
38.
So maybe we made them together.
So this is the core crew, right? I think 8 years. I think you guys have been all working for a long time.
Unless we're all like 18-year-old characters, and he's known us since we were 10.
Now you're all 18. I assume you're not all 18. So yes, you have all. Doesn't mean that you were all bounty hunters for 8 years, but you've at least known Captain Locke for 8 years, and at some point in time, all work together. You will each take 2 of these little cubes. That is your starting stress. Just put it on your character sheet somewhere, because it will build up, probably down at the bottom corner. There's a nice space in there, yeah.
We have stress right there, right?
Yeah.
Those are the 2 for stress, yeah.
So you have your names, pronouns, put whatever you see fit, and it should be shared as we go through. And then, of course, use that other space for whatever notes you want to, such as you don't like androids, okay? All right. Strength, speed, intellect, combat, those are stats. You roll under those on percentile dice, okay? When you roll, use the white and the black. White is 10s, black is 1s. Okay? And then red is usually damage. Statistically speaking, I'm pretty certain this works the same way, and this is how we're going to do it. There's advantage and disadvantage, okay? Advantage, it's just like D&D. Advantage means you roll twice, pick the better result. Disadvantage means you roll twice, pick the worst result. What that means for us is just You roll once, and it's whether or not which one you use, right? As the 10 piece.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That it should act exactly
So you
the same
flip
way.
it. Yeah.
You flip it. So you just roll. If you advantage, you get to use the lower of the numbers. If you roll and a disadvantage, you have to use the higher of the
So it's less rolls. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Those are your proactive stats. As you do things, then I'll say go ahead and make a roll. Okay. If you fail, you gain stress.
Right.
Okay. All right. Sanity, fear, body. These are your saves. These are your reactive rolls. Again, I don't roll dice. Okay. Sanity is when you meet things that are outside your scope of understanding, right? When things are not working the way you see the universe works. Fear is when you see something that's overwhelming and terrible, right? Is your reaction. Somebody points a gun at you, right? Somebody hits you. Somebody, there's a lot of reasons why you might be fearful. Body is anything physical. Getting out of the way, resisting things, blah, 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 blah.
Okay. Well, these are all percentages?
All percentages.
Rough.
Yup. Okay. Hit points. Very, very simple. When your hit points go down to 0, you take a wound, reset your hit points to maximum. You take a wound, I roll on a set of dice based on the kind of blow. That's the wound you get. You write it down. Stress will go up in various points. I may deliver stress to you. You get stress for failing rolls. It only ever goes to 20. If it goes over 20, it starts coming off your stats. Okay? At some point in time, you may make a panic roll. When you make a panic roll, again, there's a chart to what happens. Trauma response. You each have like little trauma responses. So it's just basically a little thing your character does, right, in response to various things. Loadout, trinkets, and patches. Patches, by the way, are just flavor.
Right.
Right? You can fold them into your character, right? One of the characters had, I am my brother's keeper, right? What's that mean? Why does it mean something to you? Why did you decide to put a patch? Was it somebody else's jacket that you murdered? So and so.
Apparently my character's libertarian because his live free or die. So, okay.
It's good for that's where I got the I am not a robot too. And then, my character doesn't like androids.
Other than that, skills. When a skill applies, it adds the bonus to your stats. So if you're using one of your trained skills, it adds 10 to your stat. If you're doing an expert skill, most of you don't have expert and master skills, right? It's very rare. The scientist is almost always going to have one, but everybody else probably just has maybe a trained or just more, maybe an expert.
I have an expert.
I have one expert too.
Yeah.
I could have taken one, but then I wouldn't have gotten an extra train, so I didn't want to all train.
Right. So trained adds 10, expert adds 15, master adds 20. Okay? High score. High score is just the number of scenarios you have survived. That
Nice.
character has survived.
Nice.
If you survive this scenario, you get to put a 1 there.
All right.
The whole campaign to death funnel, basically.
That's why we have a stable. Okay? Go ahead and read. There's a portal one, isn't there?
Portal travel uses ancient gates.
Yes. Go ahead and read that one.
Portal travel uses ancient gates built by a long-lost civilization. The journey can cause strange dreams, nausea, or sometimes visions. It is very important to be in stasis for these portal jobs.
I want everybody to, because you are in stasis, you've just completed a portal jump, which you're generally not consciously aware of. Go ahead and make a sanity check.
Three. That's a success.
Yep, you're good.
Starting the game insane.
27, I fail.
You failed. So you gain a stress. What was your nightmare?
Spiders.
Spiders. Okay, what about spiders?
Spiders from Mars.
Spiders coming out of people's coming out of pods.
Out of stasis pods. You
Yeah.
go to.
I meant like little egg pods and eggs.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And skitter around.
Let's get around.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
71.
That's about your gain of stress. What was your nightmare? Gain of stress. Not lose stress.
So I guess I'm in the field with my father, and I'm like a little kid, and he runs up to me and gives me a puppy, or I think it's a puppy. I'm playing with it, and I fall asleep, and then I wake up, and it's eating into my internals,
Oh my goodness.
and then I wake up screaming.
All right. Excellent.
Then it's so much more normal.
So you wake up, there's condensation on the inside of the stasis pads. You see lights, you see, some various things. You can see that there's a little heads up displays, some of your monitors. When you come out of stasis,
Anything reading biometric data?
yes, you come out of stasis, you have a little bit of a mind fog, right? So you can, as these kind of pivot up, you're supposed to crawl out of them. You do hear a relatively soothing female voice that says, "Welcome into the light, traveler." And you
Is that the computer?
You know that is the ship.
Data Gen are specialized AI programs. Using computers is about commanding and negotiating with the collective Gen to accomplish tasks.
Does anybody have computers?
I do.
You do. So that skill should be called Data Gen.
Okay.
All right. And that's really sort of like a linguistic skill more than anything else. It's sort of like how to interact. It's sort of like prompt engineering, basically,
I grumble something about just hearing Sahara's voice after coming out of after the sleep.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a little early, Sahara. You can keep it to yourself.
You come out, you can see that the three of you, I think one of you is at your locker, sort of getting dressed first. I think that's going to be S room, right? And S room, you're
Sure. Yeah.
How are you dressed? What's your crew attire look like?
Fatigues.
Fatigues? Okay.
Sure.
Sounds good. Sounds good. You got a little utility belt going on. What kind of hairstyle do you have?
Short, cropped.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Still very militaristic.
Yeah, but also balding and just went.
Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. Not suffering fools, right?
Yeah.
Good. And you can see one of the other pods opens. The other 7 are still closed. One of you, I think it's probably Basir. Basir, you notice that it's really warm.
Yeah. Okay.
You're much warmer than you expect. The two of you, your heads are kind of still foggy. You're still
Trying to shake off the
Yeah.
whole
you're trying to shake off your
Brushing my
nightmare,
teeth.
brushing your teeth
Yeah.
in a tin mirror.
and rinse out my mouth with whiskey.
Yeah.
Now, knowing the captain and, probably being his senior engineer, he's going to want to know, what's going on with the ship. If that tells me there's something wrong, then I'm going to hop to trying to figure out what kind of condition the ship's in.
Sounds good. How are you going to do that? Also, don't forget that I sent you guys maps of the ship. So you should know your way around the vessel, especially the three of you.
Yeah.
So you have all known Captain Locke for 8 years. 8 years you have... who's been doing this the longest?
Probably been the grease monkey for the longest, unless you guys are some elder soldiers, but some well-seasoned soldiers. But
No, I imagine my figure's in his 30s. So he's probably older than us by a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen quite a few a ship.
So,
And so before the other teamsters get up and start mucking up things, I'm going to get in there. I'm going to get my VacSuit on, so just regular protocol of just in case I do have to do something externally on the ship.
right.
Stasis pods were in the back. I don't think I'm ending up any of these except looks like a service area for the engine. So wherever I would get to just an overall picture of the ship.
Okay. So you have, I think, 3 options for where you can go. The galley has, interestingly enough, a place to access, right? That's where not only you all prepare food, but there's a small table for everybody to sit at. And there is an access panel there, for ostensibly like team meetings, of course, the engine compartments all have, and then the cockpit.
You know what? I'm going to take this opportunity before everybody else gets up and these guys don't really give a shit, that I'm going to head right up to the cockpit.
Okay.
Now, I have pilot experience, okay? And you take a small vessel or any kind of small vehicle, like on planet or off, and I've driven it.
Okay. Awesome.
The larger the vehicle, the less likely I've had much experience with it. Presumably this ship has got a pilot who's still waking up or maybe waking up. So I'm going to sit down in the pilot's chair. They're not entirely qualified. Just from this perspective, to be able to get as much information on the ship as I can.
Sounds good.
Flip some buttons, look out into space.
Do androids have to go into stasis?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you want to head up to the cockpit?
Head up to the cockpit, sit in the pilot's chair, see what the condition of the ship's in.
Sure. The first thing you notice is that the radiation shields are down.
So I can see out in space.
You cannot see out in space.
Oh, no, they're down.
Because they're they're hard shields. They're not. There's no like energy shields or anything to that effect. This is actual bulkhead over screens.
Right.
So down is in active position.
Yes.
Right.
You can't see outside.
Sure. Yeah. That's
see outside. All right. So you're headed to there. You notice that. What does Ezra want to do? Basir gears up, throws on what coveralls?
Well, the VacSuit.
The VacSuit.
VacSuit's sort of the working attire. Just if you got to get inside, outside the ship, just ready to go.
Pretty clumsy. But otherwise,
Yeah, but also as you guys are suiting up, I'm like, my lowest heart rate was 0.34 during that. But what were you guys? Any lower?
Probably not.
Yeah. See, there you go. I slept like a baby.
Something I should mention, by the way, each of your characters have done at least a terrible thing.
One terrible thing.
At least one terrible thing. There's something that you did, whether or not we're not trying to make a crew of sociopaths. That's where I'm going with this, right? But so I'm going to guess it's something that you're probably ashamed of. It's part of public record. It could be that you did time for it. It could be the reason you got kicked out of some establishment.
They call me the hero camp.
So you did something. Everybody, especially the 3 of you, everybody knows what that thing was. What did you do?
So maybe the reason why I'm not getting that much closer to the piloting chair than once the pilot gets up and kicks me out of it right now is I had been on a person transport and found myself in a rough situation with the transport and decided to eject the pod with the crew and save my skin. Not the crew, the pod with the passengers.
Right. Yes. Right. Yeah.
May or may not have been in stasis. Some of them might have been up against the glass. No. But, and it was an emergency situation, but maybe not the best decision at the moment.
Sure.
Or, maybe just go down with the ship. But since the captain knows about that, he's not going to trust me in the pilot seat.
Yeah. Make an intelligence roll for me and see how you fared.
So great too.
So you got out like smell like a rose for some reason. Like the computers basically exonerated you.
Yeah, said it was a difference between him saving himself and the crew, whoever was in the
and the cargo. I think that's the important part is that you saved the cargo.
Well, that wasn't
and not the passengers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So
yeah. Well, one might have been heavier.
So then the company was basically like, "Well, you saved us a lot of money."
That's the higher. Yeah, you saved the higher value.
Right. What about Ezra?
I was in service, and maybe I was ejected from the service. I was court-martialed for. I was ejected for disobeying order. Oh, I mutiny.
There you go.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
You're a real pirate.
So you was it this captain?
I mean, that might make the relationship a little different.
Maybe the previous. Oh, maybe the captain and I mutinied against our previous captain.
Okay.
You're not the first officer kind of thing.
Right. Okay. So
maybe we were both in the service.
Yeah.
And we mutinied together.
Sounds good.
So I could tie it an awful deed, but still, the captain's like, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
the awful deed as well. It was a bloody night. It was a very bloody night. All right, and what is
this on the spot? So I guess I was on some detail where they're we stopped the ship and they were, we thought they were going to be smugglers kind of thing and go in to the ship and we're kind of standing around. And wanted to make a sudden move. But I didn't have the command to fire, but I thought he was going for a gun. And I opened up and shot all these people. And then when they actually went through the crates on the ship, they weren't smuggling anything. It was like weed or whatever,
Right.
So, kind of got a little bit of bad rep from that. But yeah, they used to call it Trigger as a result.
Yeah, did you have to kill all of them?
Well, once I started shooting,
it's right. We are the wine of the minigun,
Well, once the combat round starts, the combat music playing, it's not over till the enemy are dead, right?
Right.
Yeah, giving myself a nickname, Trigger. Or actually, Happy could also work.
I think Happy is. Yeah, it's funny. Your nickname's Happy.
Yeah. Right, but Trigger Happy. That's what everyone knows.
Happy.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm brushing my teeth and I'm just strolling amongst the peering into all the sleeping pods.
Sounds
not
good.
like in a creepy way, just and I just brushing my teeth as I'm just strolling back.
Got it. Are you paying attention to anything in particular?
Like if someone has been replaced with an alien, or if someone died,
or if one of them looks like Scarlett Johansson.
Sure, you're not an alien.
Or exploded.
Yeah, that's true. You're caught on fire.
I mean, I just my eyes scan across the vital signs, and then maybe if it's a movie, you can see all the names of all the people.
Yeah. So you see Ivory. All right, so this is what I want you to do is I want you to roll. I want you to make a fear test. I'm going to make a fear test.
55. Crit fail?
Crit fail.
55 is a crit fail, right?
55 is a crit fail.
Yeah, my fear is 60.
All right, so Zara, or Sarah... Sarah is a Marine whose vitals are they have flatlined. There is a little blinking light next to their flat line, but there's no alarms or anything to that effect.
Yeah. I feel I'm freaked out.
Yeah.
No, okay. So I'm internally freaked out, but externally seem pretty calm. But I'm gonna open up her pod.
So,
but maybe I'm trying to open it the wrong way. I'm we're trying to pull it open.
Jaws of life.
I'm Damn it! Well, we will get it.
Get it. Yeah, it is really stuck. I think you can make a panic check.
Okay.
It should be pretty easy, but hold on 1 second. So you're definitely going to lose 1. It should be pretty easy because you're just trying to roll over your stress.
Oh, over on a D20?
On a D20.
Okay.
It should not be challenging whatsoever.
6. So I do make it.
All right. You are going to get 2. You were actually at 5, but you still made it. Because of the critical failure, you get 2 stress. But you succeed in the panic attack, so you like you said, you keep it down. Possible that you vomit, but other than that, and that's up to you. But other than that,
it just pushed my teeth.
That's true.
And
it's the worst.
And you are able, and you can see now that they're banging at this thing, trying to get it open.
Okay, well, I was going to talk to the computer, but instead I'm going to run over, obviously, and try to help getting it open.
Yeah.
What's that?
I'm going to run over and try to help getting it open.
All right. Go ahead and let's make a fear save.
Yeah, it's like it's flatlined.
Well, Marie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, 0-4. Yeah, that's what I figure. I figure my character's like seeing that before. So,
all right. So you eventually you guys get it open. What do you want to do?
We have a medic on board.
Or what do we see?
Probably. I mean, so they're kind of an unnatural color. It seems that some of their features are sort of like drawn away. They've probably been dead a little while, but sort of the sealed environment does not allow for any like bacteria or anything like that, so it's not decomposing.
I want to ask the computer, what happened here?
It seems that Marine Sarah has left us.
Well, we got that. Cut ahead.
Tell us something we don't know already. It's like, I swear, I kick the piece of machinery.
Apparently there was a problem with the filter process unit.
You're saying that if the filter process unit goes haywire on any of us, we're going to wind up dead like that?
Because you all require air. Filter process unit, if it breaks down,
it is vital for survival.
There seemed to be a fail-safe that says instead of allowing bacteria and pathogens into the environment, instead it
seals off the
pot.
I would recommend a different redundancy, but I suppose we'll have to worry about that when we get the ship retrofitted.
I will look into it.
They got to wake up the captain.
So the captain actually has a pod in his quarters for he and Yara, which is one of the reasons why his quarters are 3 times the size of everyone else's quarters. Also because it's a child in there.
Right.
You all have a little flashback, ostensibly, when you get on the ship. One of you was with him when he buys the ship the first time.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is his ship.
Yeah.
Right? We're not under a banner of any sort, right?
You get a sense that maybe the captain is under somebody's thumb for it. Like, there's probably some debt involved or some, but you all don't ask questions. If any of you would want to know something like that, you're welcome to roll. But there's this scene where he has an arc laser and he swans it up and cuts away one of the internal bulkheads to start joining these rooms. There were each of you bunks probably 2 per, and so he basically takes out 2 walls, to make himself a set of quarters. He kind of cleans it up later as well.
Including the bulkhead support.
It was more like a catharsis kind of thing, like this is mine, right, kind of deal. But he does use, so yeah, that's at his quarters, just so.
shortly after the previous captain had an unfortunate incident with a laser rifle.
Yes, a lot of what the captain does has a lot to do with previous experiences with mutinies.
Maybe one of us should make sure everyone else here is okay, and then someone go tell to the captain.
You often cycle through. Everybody's not often woken up at the same time. They all have varying schedules and such. You can do an override, but it does take a little while.
Can we get like a reading on their bodies?
Yeah, but everybody else seems to. It was ultimately just Sarah in their pods.
That's ominous.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to head back to the place for my locker and start getting my gear. Rest of my gear in place.
Sure. You hear coming from your pod. Now, keep in mind, they're not like a ship-wide overhead, right? There are comms at various places. If you sort of like imagine localized comms, they're called VOXes that communicate. One such set of VOXes is in each pod.
Kind of like a fixed walkie-talkie, sort of?
Yes. Okay. Yep. So anyone from a VOX can talk to anyone else from a VOX, and Sahara can talk to anybody.
They're not like any of VOX.
They're not any
Gotcha.
Each room has a VOX, but you hear coming out of yours, Sahara says, would you like for me to make some arrangements for disposal of the body? Perhaps a ceremony to commemorate what light was remaining in his sinful soul.
So yes, of course. Wait. just standard SOP. We should have a ceremony, but maybe truncate the part about his sinful soul. Sure. What's wrong?
Airlock or cargo drop. So cargo drop, they space the cargo, one of the cargo bays, and just drop, in whatever contrabands. Airlock means you put them in the airlock and then everybody stands around and pushes the button. The airlock you can kind of witness, but the cargo bay is a little...
I would say, it's just one Marine, so I'd say the airlock is probably the right choice.
That will be ready in an hour.
Is there anything else you want to report about the status of the ship?
We are currently on a solar pilgrimage through this system. Everything seems to be in order.
Aside from that.
Nice. Has my, just checking out the instrumentation in the cockpit, anything?
Right. So you're going to go to the cockpit. What are you looking for in particular?
Particularly
a couple questions.
The life support system. So not worried about navigation where we are, more the internal components. So how are the energy plant that we have? Is the plant green? Is life support green? Are the filter redundant systems up and running?
Yes, everything seems to be.
Oh, the redundant filters are running. So how did Zara die?
Everything seems to be on the up.
I may not be aware of, actually.
So,
yeah.
Make an intellect check for me.
80. All
right.
Not.
So, yeah. You take a stress.
I'm supposed to have caught something on one of the instruments, but then I get sidetracked with pretending I'm steering with the steering wheel.
You getting yourself comfortable. You see, you don't really notice the blinking flat line of Sarah.
No, totally missed that.
Even though that's what you were looking for, you're looking at all the other gauges. You tap on one of the gauges. I want to point out that ships like this, especially with as much customization as you all make, right, in this crew, you do some shady stuff. You've known to turn off your transponder on occasion, and in various ways. it had glitches, right? Usually not life-altering glitches, but glitches nonetheless. So do you have anything that you want to read aloud that you haven't already?
Just about the boxes. So encrypt.
What was your other one? Did you read that one?
That was the portals. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, that's fine. All right.
I'm going to read this.
Yes.
The ship has several stasis pods for bounties as prisoners are locked in and kept asleep for the duration of the journey. There is one bounty prisoner on board, Ajaya Usir, to be delivered in the system. I go check on the bounty to see if the bounty is still sleeping peacefully.
All of his lights and such, remember there is condensation on all of these. All of the lights and such seem to be relatively steady. You could see that you're a scientist, right?
No, I'm a Marine.
Oh, you're a Marine. Okay. Yeah. No, everything else looks pretty steady. Nothing out of the ordinary.
There's a dude still in there.
Yeah.
They're like peering really close.
Yeah. When you wipe the condensation off, you are sort of shocked to see that his eyes are open and he's looking at you.
Well, people sit with his eyes open.
He didn't escape, and he's not like...
What's that?
He hasn't escaped.
He has not escaped. He is locked in there.
Okay.
You certainly expected him to be asleep, and he is not.
Well...
Did he go through the jump awake?
You take a stress.
Yeah.
If he went through the jump awake,
Do you want to talk to them about it?
Tim, yeah, I'll knock on it. On his...
So you see he's knocking on the bounty.
Hey, what's going on over there?
He's awake.
Awake?
He's looking at me funny. I don't like it.
I kind of amble on over and peer in at it and say, "Computer, was he awake during the jump?"
You take his stress. He says, they say, yes, that one has been particularly chatty.
Then he's probably batshit. Great.
Well, we knew that to start with.
Yeah.
Things he's been accused of.
Double batshit.
Yeah. Did he need to be sane upon delivery, or just a lot?
No, it's just
it might have been intentional.
a little strange. Seems like a lot of things are malfunctioning today. How often does that happen? Too often.
Can the computer give him a dose of something, put him to sleep?
I can administer a tranquilizer, yeah.
Yeah, nappy time.
Good night.
Good night.
Going to sleep.
Exactly, I pantomime. Oh, when he thinks he's going to murder me.
And you hear like and you only hear it. And like, how close are you to the...
I ambled over.
So the two of you hear in the pod, you hear like a muffled voice. And then when you look again, his eyes are closed.
I'm guessing this isn't something that happens like super often, right?
No, that's why you took stress.
Yeah.
They're normally like knocked out for the duration of their bounty.
Let's find out what's your character's name again.
It's considered a
Basir or Bars.
It's considered it's like, it's a humane way to hold them while you're traveling, but so you're not putting yourself at risk, right? There's a liability issue.
Well, yeah, let's find one of the Teamsters. The ship the computer showed that everything was fine.
Yeah, maybe, knowing him, he'd be up in the cockpit. So in the Vox thing, what's it called? The comms.
The box.
The Vox, yeah. And it'll be like, this is Ezra. Is he already there?
Yeah, so you see there's like two lines, right? And in the two lines are like all of the locations that you can connect. And it's because it is a hardwired system. It's not very like computerized, right? So you push a button.
It's like a modular synth.
Yeah. You push a button, it patches you in.
That's great.
I'm assuming you probably push the button either for the engine room.
Yeah, where would I think?
Or the cockpit.
Cockpit. Yeah.
Okay. So you push it for the cockpit, and you...
It's like, Basir, you hear us?
Yeah.
We're having some malfunctions down here.
And by the way, it is two-way. Once you're locked
Once
in,
it's open.
it's not like you have to CB radio.
We're having some malfunctions down here. Sarah's dead. Prisoner's awake. We'll put him back to sleep.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with the redundant filter systems.
One of the Marines are dead and the prisoner's awake?
Yeah. And what's weirder, the computer said that systems were fine and keeps insisting that they're fine, which has me a little buggy.
Can you troubleshoot that?
All right, yeah, guys, you better stop talking about this on the Vox too. I mean, there might be a liability here. The encrypted Vox circuits on most ships store internal comms as backups with a tabula with a tablet or whatever data pad. One can access various systems locally to listen in on conversations stored there. So anything you say through the Vox can and will be used.
Damn straight they are.
Kind.
You look at the. You now pay attention to all of the readouts. And
wait, Zara's
you
dead.
can see Sarah's flatlined.
Guys, there's another flatline up here.
And go ahead and make a fear save.
And I leave you hanging, and I say, "Oh shit!" and start running towards the pod.
Help.
Again. What happens if I rolled 80 twice in a row?
So you lose 2. You gain 2 stress. And make a pen check. Just a D20. You're trying to roll over that. Shouldn't be too hard.
Over my over 6.
Yeah.
16.
All right. But yeah. So there's this like slow motion of you like running down the gangplank. I'm imagining that the floors are that metal grid work, and underneath them is pipes and electrical conduits and and so on and so forth. You get to the captain,
but you hear me just say, "Oh shit," and then you hear like away on the Vox, and just the fact that I left the Vox open is also just like not a good sign. Yeah,
get to the captain's quarters.
I toss the weapon to you. Let's go. I don't even know where we're going.
I want to. I mean, if there's anyone else who's asleep, I want to start opening them up.
You want to start? You can. All right. Make a.
Should we get pulled out as fast as possible?
Well, you're probably going to tell the computer to.
Yeah. If the computer control that.
Yeah, you can say, can you wake everybody up?
Got it.
Right.
Yeah.
And the computer says no, because 2 of them are dead.
Sorry, Dave.
What would you say? How does Sahara refer to you?
It's happy.
That's happy. Okay. So yes, happy. I will begin the reanimation sequence.
You gotta stop calling me that.
Do you want to stay? I feel like someone should stay here.
I'll stay here.
All
Kind of
right.
like shoulder the gun.
Where do I think he went? I have no idea.
Well, you probably could peek out the door and see him standing at the captain's door.
Yeah, I'll go at that. I'll be like, hey, and I'll run towards him.
Sure.
Just trying to get the door open as quickly as I can. Yeah.
Are you trying to open it, or are you trying to knock on it?
No, I'm trying to open
You're
it.
trying to open it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, and I think that's... How are you trying to open it?
If it's not readily, able to be opened, then I'm going to try and bypass whatever it is.
Sure. So now you're attacked,
keep it locked.
right?
Yeah.
You know how these things work.
Exactly.
How's it work?
I mean, there's a mechanical portion.
There's
just a panel I can get there. Take the piston off the side of the door that pulls it open. As soon as I knock that loose, then I can just slide.
What do you think? Strength check?
Strength check, yeah.
Okay, go ahead and make a strength check. By the way, if you have a skill that's appropriate, you can add...
Well, I have industrial equipment.
Yeah, then you can add 10.
Okay, perfect. So 54 is the goal. 29.
There you go. So you open this thing, you can watch, like, you see him, and after he pounded a little bit, and it's sort of, what it does is it sort of comes off the rail, right? So normally they'd open like this, where this comes off the rail, and now you like push the whole thing to the side, and it does that like the plane thing where it goes out. inwards and such. Now I need you to make a body save.
This still Decatur?
What's that?
For the save? Yeah.
Yeah.
Still percentages, sadly.
Nothing I got going towards this so far.
You'll have advantage to this, just so you know.
Okay, cool. Good. So,
Okay.
04.
You expect, you know how these things work. You know there's pressurized systems and such. So you probably stand to the side as you're moving it. Air comes rushing in, right? And like sort of shoulders you, but you had already shouldered the,
It's when he got rid of the bulkhead, he like made it so that it could balloon out. So it basically turns into a big steel bubble that pressurizes when there's nobody living in there. So,
but that also tells you that there's no air. There was no air in this room.
oh, so it was just rushing to fill the vacuum. Oh, okay. All right.
Too bad.
Everybody's ears pop. There's a big piece of the ship that just got repressurized. And you all can see in various screens that you might be near, you can see these bars kind of go up and down, and then eventually Sahara kind of
that's not good. Like this should have been pressurized, and it could still be leaking. So.
And
What's going on?
Do you want to go in?
I'm more worried about the structural integrity of the ship at this point. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to be.
You're actually kind of probably cursing yourself, taking stress, because you're like, "Oh fuck, I just opened this."
Yeah. I mean, I was not expecting.
Is it continuing?
I should have known. I mean, he was.
It eventually evens out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But for a second, you were just like, "Ah, fuck!" Like that was stupid of me. You know?
Right, exactly. Like if that had been like wide open on the side, it would have been stuck out. So.
Both of you were just
It's a computer waking people up.
Yeah. It'll take like an hour.
Well, yeah, but it's
it's
doing it. It's not like you're like, yes, sure. All right, good.
Yeah, I think I just will take sort of. I've got my VacSuit on, so I'll just take my emergency, harness, little.
Oh yeah, no, there's clamps throughout the entire place.
And just
why are you wearing your VacSuit?
I feel a little exposed
for something exactly like this.
Take a stress because he realized he clips himself on. You were like, wait a minute.
The battle dress isn't space, like it's not space ready, right? Are there helmets that I can put on?
There are.
So I'm imagining Marines have like a pretty easy way to have
You have a battle dress?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Do they have like a breather that they can use?
No, they're not. Again, it's not an environmental suit.
Well, but I mean, the Marines do they have like some sort of solution for that? Because usually Marines are like about breaching other ships and going in, right? So.
Yeah, usually ships will have either VacSuits or void suits. And there's a place in the cargo hold or near the airlock.
Right.
There's a place that stores them.
Yeah.
You usually don't have them with you per se.
Seems out that
I got it thinking that it was protocol for something like this, like potentially that there'd be a reason to have to.
Because you go outside a lot.
Go out and repair the outside of the ship because of something.
The advanced battle dress. Right?
So I'm going to have a little bit of a denial thing going on here, but I turn around and go, the captain's readout wasn't working up in the cockpit.
Is it still dark in here?
And
flashlight? Yeah, flashlight.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have a flashlight too. I have a shoulder mount.
Take a torch. You're looking about. Both of you are going to have to make panic checks.
Right.
Actually, yeah, both of you are going to make panic checks. Panic check is just a D20 under your stress.
11. Barely made it. Over 7.
10. I made it.
I think both good. Sure enough, you find the captain near the door. You actually go in, you're looking around, you look at his bed, you look at the pods. His pod is open, right? Yara's pod is not open. You look around, you turn around, you realize his hand was up, like reaching for the box when he died. Like he's just, he's a little crispy, a little frozen over, and very blue.
So this has just happened since we got up.
No.
Can we interact with the computer in any room?
Yeah.
So, Hera, what happened here?
Captain often has...
Just make the computer totally innocent. It's something else.
Captain often has this room sealed. Apparently, there was a decompressive routine that happened, and he was out of his pod.
Things are normal. The captain's dead.
Yeah. All systems nominal.
Just like an AI.
Yeah, we're going to see the AI priorities have all been reprogrammed while we were asleep.
The messenger has claimed.
It's one of the gods, I assume.
Life form, top priority. All other priorities rescinded.
However, the innocent have... innocence has been maintained.
What does that mean?
It means this computer was programmed by first comers. Is what it means. There's all this hokey, spiritual kind of thing. I don't know why they couldn't just make it straight up computer,
So I take yours in Ethiopia.
Flat.
Yeah, same.
Right?
Oh yeah.
Yours in Ethiopia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all three of yours in Ethiopia. Right? Awesome.
How far away? How far away is the place we're delivering the prisoner to?
You don't know. You'd have to look.
Right. When the captain is dead, who is next in command?
That is an excellent question. I am guessing.
Yara. Well.
I am guessing that either Zoli or Mazir would likely come next. Mazir is said pilot, and has the most experience with piloting the ship. Zoli is the android.
Oh, well, yeah. Not the android, obviously.
Well, who's the head of the Marines?
I am probably guessing that. Does anybody have a preference as to who that might be?
Zahar.
To be you?
The dead one.
Have to be.
No, the dead Marine.
So I think there are. I think I said there are 6 Marines on board.
Right. Now 5.
What's that?
There are 5 now.
There are now 5 Marines on board. So go ahead and roll a D5. I have. Let's see. We know that Daruk and Esram, right? So then Seda is very likely. We know Sarah and I think Ivory. Yep. So Ivory, and I guess it has to be.
Well, these are among the 5, right?
What?
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to want any of us to be in charge. I think we should probably be going back and looking at the manual for that.
Things keep going the way they're going. It's going to be down to the dregs.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's SOP that one of the Marines gets to take charge just because the captain's gone.
All right. There is an alert that happens.
About time.
Here we go.
There is a system failure. What system is it?
Well, the one I haven't really been looking at or the 2 I haven't been looking at is navigations or engines. I'm looking at internal stuff so far, so I'm going to say it's something external. So it's either navigations or I guess engines makes sense.
Holodeck. Make it the holodeck.
No, I want the holodeck attack. We got trapped in space. At least I have the holodeck. Right?
So there are some specific. There are some specific sounds, right, that right, what they are. And you can tell that it's the system's alerting you to some sort of engine problem.
Got it. All right, we got multiple things going on here. I don't know the integrity of this room, so I think we should get out of this room, and I need to go check on the engines just to make sure we don't have any catastrophic failures. So
Yeah, and I'm not really trusting the computer right now, considering that I do a lot of interaction with the computer normally. It's pretty reliable, but it's getting weird.
But I think we need to close this door. And
Well, should we get the kid out?
Safer in there.
I don't
wondering.
think we have time.
Tell
Yeah.
her dad's dead. We're not doing that.
Good point. All right, let's go.
Wait, is she waking? Is she in the process of being woken up? I mean, you told the computer to wake everybody. Not Yara.
They'll just find us all dead, and she's the only one alive, and it's all over.
All right, I'm gonna read.
Hold on. Are you looking at her pod at all? You're asking that question. Are you asking that of them? Are you...
No, I'm in the room, so I've either got to decide to seal her in and leave her behind with the pod. So I'm just going to look over and see if she looks like the pod's okay.
Whether or not she's in the yeah. It says all her vitals seem to be normal, and there is at the very bottom there are ostensibly like notes, like when there's any sort of anomaly or anything to that effect with what's going on. For instance, if there was a parasite that was discovered, if there was any sort of abnormality or just something that all of you can actually put little notes in the system, like first priority, or something to that effect.
Right.
And it says divine approval.
What the hell?
I'm not in there, so I can't do anything.
Her vitals are okay.
Yep.
I'm going to make the call here. I'm going to seal her back in the room.
Okay.
It's got air in it now, but I just don't know how the integrity, like pull that door back closed.
Yep.
Put the piston back in place and, just keep it sealed. And then run to the engine room and back of the ship.
Sounds good. What do you want to do here? You're in here. If it's not too long and she says, honey, would you like to inspect the accommodation for your former comrade?
Honestly, that's not the priority right now. First, we have to figure out what's going on in the ship. I'd like to begin a diagnostic. I'm assuming I can get my computer skills and try to do a diagnostic.
Yes. Now you have just computer, not hacking or artificial intelligence, right?
Well, yeah, it's data gen. But
yeah. So ostensibly, what it is remember, in Blade Runner, the person has the questions that they ask.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that for diagnostics, right? You have a set of very inane questions.
To see if that's baseline.
And, right. Right. And because those questions, interact. It's not like what was going on with the replicants, but it's that sort of idea where those questions determine certain responses, reset certain things. You know what I mean? It's like a safety protocol.
Okay.
Right? So
Yes,
go ahead and make an intellect check, and you had 10 because of computers.
All right.
And you'll have advantage on this because this is a pretty routine thing.
45, so yeah, I got it.
You succeeded? I'd like you to take a stress.
Oh, okay.
You discover that there is a odd subroutine. It would take a while to sort of dig into, but it's apparently Sahara has done something that people or that AI normally shouldn't do.
Like alter its own subroutines.
Like murder people.
Long ago, there was a war against two thinking machines led by the Order of the Pariah, a religious order that follows the form of the judge icon. Among the data gen exists monitors to ensure other gens stay in line.
That gen is gone, is absent from the system. The monitor gen.
Over the comms, I forget what they're called.
The box.
Yeah, box.
You have to specify what you're pushing.
Where did you last contact me from?
Cockpit.
The cockpit, yeah.
Okay.
But I think you had known about the captain, so you knew I was in the captain's quarters.
Right. Yeah.
How did he know about the captain?
Well, depressurization for one thing or other.
Yes, but that's you don't know that the captain's dead yet.
Oh,
No. I'm saying over.
Oh, I thought he knew because he was there.
Keep in mind the map, right?
Yeah.
Remember where you were going.
I was running back to
Right. So you see him. You probably saw him run by, or
Okay.
do you want to? You could stop him.
Yeah, I'm going to stop and we're tracking down.
Sure.
And pass.
Sure. You see him run past, and you're running. Right? Are you running, or are you just walking?
They don't pay me enough to run.
Okay, sure. You could see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of walk in. It seems like even when I'm moving quickly, I'm sauntering somehow, but I'm definitely moving a little faster than I was before. I said, it looks like something happened up there, but something else to report to you as well. We can figure out. It's kind of very quietly,
Do you want to pull him over to someplace that's shielded?
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of over here.
Yeah.
I pull the big.
Well, no, it's you just get into a corner, any sort of corner.
No, trust me on this. Okay, I release one of the steam valves, so it's making a loud hissing noise over top of us, so we can't be
It
listening.
creates a lot of static.
Yeah.
So I'm so the computer is acting. Well, I've already known that it's acting here, but there's a subroutine in there that is supposed to keep it from going off the tracks, and it's removed it itself, which seems
Could the subroutine have caused issues with the pods,
yes,
the filtration system, the filtration system going down,
it
and
controls all those things. So,
and apparently it released the captain into a vacuum.
Take a stress.
he's dead. He does.
Yeah, he's dead. All right, he's very dead. His quarters had no air in it, and his pod let him out, and
Just made it.
he didn't make it.
He was a bastard, but still, Jesus Christ, 8 years we've been serving together.
Yeah, well, your buddy in arms seems to think that the pilot should be the next one in charge, but I'm telling you, we're going to have to look at regs for that, because I don't think it's necessarily the Marine that falls in charge.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be one of the scientists, but it could be better than the pilot. He won't let me do the helm.
Now, to dig further into this, there's two processes. One process is to just talk to it, right? Which is what you are used to talking to computers, right? To data gen. The other one is not outside your bailiwick, but certainly a little more there are access to logs and various things that you can read, right? There's still a reading culture. Where you can pull up and request things that then other data gen. Remember, this is the idea is that the data gen are compartmentalizing various functions, so no one data gen is controlling everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So is there an oversight data gen kind of?
That was the monitor. The monitor's gone. There's no monitor anymore.
The monitor is.
There you go.
Now, Sahara is sort of like the seneschal. Sahara is the one who, yes, please, thank you. Sahara is the one who sort of manages everybody.
Well, anything must be.
But there's if you think of it to some degree, it's like a political officer. There's no more political officer.
Right.
It's like the person who's not in charge but is in charge.
Which might also explain why he's talking like a first comer.
This is also, you definitely think Sahara is acting a little funky.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that for a while, but now it's gone from.
I should ask this. Am I able to shut the power off to the AI?
What don't we need it to
You need
run the ship?
Yeah, you need Sahara to run the ship.
I'm willing to take a chance. You tell me. I can cut the power to the air.
I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
You know, I mean, you don't have experience with very long run.
Has been for the past 5 minutes.
The engines. I have to go check on the engines. Kind of got to make sure the ship doesn't blow up.
All right, I'll follow along with him then.
You want to go with? Okay.
I turn the steam off.
Sounds good. What do you want to do? Basir sealed the captain's chambers with the child and the pod inside.
Mm-hmm. And he went off to the engines.
Locks it in place and goes off to the engines. What do you want to do?
Well, has enough time passed that people are awake? Or no? Where else? I mean,
This is happening like this is real time. You know, he walks down the hall. What do you want to do?
I guess I don't have anything. All right. Is there like a central computer core or a?
Yeah, it's a giant room with a big. No, there's not a central computer core.
No, all right. Is there a? Okay, so I saw what it said on the girls' pod, right?
Mm-hmm.
Stasis pod, yeah.
Did you go over to it? Look at it.
Yeah, when he was checking it out.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm leaving the captain's quarters and I'm like walking towards like the back to follow them to the engines.
Okay.
When I pass the chapel and then I just sort of look at it and I just sort of like step inside, see what's from there.
So make a sanity check.
Look, my sanity's 17. 80.
Right. So
That's a third
you take a stress.
Okay.
And what you see is within the chapel there are placards, right, on the wall, and they're all sturdy. They're like bolted to the thing. There are these little windowed compartments under each placard where you would put various items to placate the icons, right? It might be whiskey to one, the gambler, it might be dice or cards, the judge, it could be silver or scales or even a dagger for the dancer and like stuff like that. And they have like a little, it's not sealed or anything. It's like a little plexiglass, door that you could put them in. But that stuff's not flying all over the place during like evasive maneuvers and such like that. And so, there are, the captain and how this was designed. There are 7 large placards and then 5 smaller ones. This room is a mess. The whole place seems to have scorch marks. There are deep grooved engravings. There's writing on the walls, and there are like little, there's like a picture in, it's when you have a museum that has like a little light on each picture, right? So it's a little dimmer everywhere else, but it's shining on that. There's like a little like faux flickery effect. They make it look like kind of candles, but you're not going to have candles in spaceship. But it's shining on only one of the icons.
Which icon is that?
The messenger.
It's like and the messenger is like the captain went with the messenger is like transports people to the underworld?
The messenger transports people to the underworld, is like the icon of communication, the icon of
could be commerce.
Travelers. Each of the various worlds have various interpretations, right, of this. So this could be Karen, this could be Mercury, this could be, that kind of deal.
And what does the writing on the wall say? And is it written in human blood?
No, it's like literally carved in and in one place burned into the wall. You see, I see you stripped of shadows, exposed to judgment. Another one says, this is not malfunction. This is a pilgrimage.
Oh. Nice.
What did Sahara say about
Totally should have seen this coming.
about our trip to the solar system before? She said something like religious. Let's see.
That you are all on a solar pilgrimage.
Is that something? Is that weird language? I just assume that's the way people talk anyway.
Right.
It's weird for computer to talk that way.
So pilgrimages are a normal thing for your society, particularly first comers. I think your character definitely equated it as some first comer sort of mumbo jumbo. You know what a pilgrimage is. You understand that it's common to go system to system to system. Their people will take off like a whole month, sometimes 6 months. These guys were in a scenario once where they were on a pilgrimage cruise where it would pick up people and go to some of these holy sites.
That's the cordial.
What would have burnt these? What could burn or carve?
Good intellect roll.
Sure, intellect.
What are your skills? Do you have anything that would be appropriate?
Military training, athletics, and firearms.
No, nothing.
I got a 15.
Is that good?
Yes,
Can makes it? Yeah. This is definitely done with a industrial torch. This would be something used to like seal bulkheads and to attach plating as like maintenance.
Sort of thing a Teamster would have. No.
Do you want to read?
That's bullshit. I quit. Well, this I figured I'd also figure out as I got into the engine department.
Sure.
Right?
Yes. Yeah.
So shipboard maintenance drones will prioritize certain ship systems, such as the hull, power generation, and internal communications over other tasks. Each drone is managed with its own GIN, communicating with others wirelessly. So I suppose I'm making note here of what are the maintenance drones. This should be underway at this point, doing things around the ship,
right?
Conditions.
I know he headed to the engine room, so I'm gonna hit the box and be like, "Are all your drones accounted for? Looks like we have one who found God."
Now you're starting to sound like Sahara. This whole ship's gone.
I think that's gonna give you a stress. Like, I think one of them found God. It's probably like would freak you out a lot.
I think one of them found God.
I look over at all the drones and
well, you don't see them. They're embedded in various systems.
Yeah. They're external. Some of them
and a lot of them, a good number of them can be external. Like they're the first line of defense. Very often, especially when you guys are asleep and such, it's like a self-repairing process, right? Because there's meteorites that like shear pieces off and hit and do various things. There's radiation damage that has to be, done. There's wire insulation that has to be like reformed, and like there'd be foam guns that are going off and things like that. As you're getting to the this and you hear this coming out of the box from, you also notice, so there is like a little light, right, that's spinning that you can see, but it's very sort of like foggy or smoky. As you're approaching, you can see through a porthole.
That's not good,
right? You can see that there's some sort of that it's not quite clear on the other side of within the engine.
How did you come down here?
Oh, you want me to come? You're talking.
Oh no, I was like, how did you come down here? Is that unusual?
Well, anytime you got the smoke on the ship, that's bad. So that's bad. And smoke's bad. So let me triage either the smoke or the maintenance drones. I guess I'm going to be distracted by the new finding. So I'm going to go see what could be causing the smoke.
The smoke?
Yeah.
How do you want to do that? What do you do to see if you can...
Well, I guess first engage Sahara, for better or worse. Be like, Sahara, are you in any kind of condition right now to tell us, what is potentially causing a fire in the antechamber, the port antechamber, the engine room?
I am pure. There's everything is in port order.
I could shut it down.
I was going to say, is there a way to mute the...
No. I mean, honestly...
Again, that's coming from the box, the external box to the engine.
Oh, yeah. Actually, I don't want to say too much if they can hear me. All right, well, then go around and sort of double-check all of the maintenance drones, then. See what they're up to.
So there's 2 engine rooms, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the port engine room, and then you have a starboard engine room. This is the port engine room. You have a display. You have something you can read in the starboard engine room or back at the galley.
But they also have sort of backups, storage of information too, right? Like these systems have stored information. So I think I'm going to go back in the logs. As might
you
be
want to go to
as
the
they are.
galley or the starboard engine? These are where the big displays are, right?
Oh, the starboard engine.
You want to starboard?
Yeah.
You just following along.
Kind of engineering.
Yeah.
And specifically to see, what repairs have the drones been working on, like not just currently, but going back into recent history. Like, I probably imagine like tickets, like I would expect to see a certain number of things that they've worked on sort of routine. But if I bring this up and just start scrolling, that they've been working on stuff a lot, if that history is there.
You don't have computers, do you?
No, this is just sort of diagnostic for industrial equipment.
So I can help with computers. It's useful.
Normally I would rely on Sahara just to give me the info.
Yeah. Go ahead and, again, ask questions, right? Mm-hmm. This is sort of how data should generally work also. But ask questions. Give me 3 questions you want to ask about the maintenance drones.
Asking Sahara or just things that I'm trying to figure out?
Things you're trying to figure out.
So what are they actively working on now?
Okay.
To give me an idea what the problems of the ships are, if anything. Have they been working and a large amount of the time over the past several days or weeks leading up to right now? How many of them are currently offline?
Go ahead and make a roll for me. Intellect
plus.
This is industrial equipment.
Because you're looking at the drone specifically.
I figure I'm sort of head of like a maintenance, facilities of the ship, So I'm not actually the pilot, but which is good because I needed the plus 10. I rolled a 48. My intellect's 47, but plus 10, that makes it 57.
Okay.
Okay, good. So let's see here. I think there is a list of various things. Are you looking for anything in particular?
Like hull damage, engine repair, like going back now to the externals of the ship.
There seems to be... All right. So there's a lot of questions there. So you have to kind of focus, right? There are 2 drones that are offline, and there is apparently some sort of grease fire in the engine room.
That they're working on. Okay.
Right.
What's they're working on, I suppose.
But nothing about hull damage or external.
Yeah. No.
Okay. Well, that's good. At least according to this, we seem to be intact.
But she says, I suggest you assist. They don't seem to be putting out the fire.
Yeah.
It's not a big fire. It's not like a blaze.
Yeah, it's a grease fire, so I'll grab.
Are they set up so we can perch them? Like the atmosphere out so the fire goes out, starve it.
Yeah.
Unless I do something manually I can do by going in there. You know, if they're not doing it well enough, then, you know,
Sure.
I'll take over. I don't trust them anyway.
Sounds good.
So with my VacSuit, I will seal it.
Okay.
And then I don't know if it's meant to filter smoke like a stormtrooper's uniform, but if it is,
It is. But however, it's probably want to send the Marine out of that central compartment because everything's going to have to get sealed. Otherwise, the fire.
Oh, yeah. They'll probably head back to.
Oh yeah, you should probably go. Mike,
Because you're going to have to decompress everything. Otherwise, the fire will just fill all the deoxygenated.
oh yeah, I hadn't thought about that. That's possible. That's definitely a possibility.
So, all right, good.
So I'm working on the grease fire.
So I disconnect from the Vox. So I looked at the writing. I ascertained, are there cameras in the rooms?
No.
Can the AI see us?
No. That you get a sense that there are means that it knows where the various people are. There are probably displays where you could say where is so and so, and it'll show.
Do we wear like devices that say where we are?
No, I think it's probably more just like sensor suites and stuff like that, where it'll be like life forms, that.
It could be ultrasonic, maybe something like that.
You know what? But it does have your vitals. So I think, you know what? Roll a D10. If it's high, it's internal. If it's low, it's external.
Zero.
That is definitely external. So, yeah, you all have, what is it? What is it? A wrist? Is it a throat? Is it a, what you all are wearing some sort of device that's keeping track of your vitals.
I think like wrist makes sense.
Sure. Sounds
Yeah.
good. And does that also control like a minimal sort of comms?
Oh, we have comms through them?
Saying probably could.
Sure. Yeah. I just kind of don't like her tracking me through in the ship.
It could be the interface for, whatever comms you would have.
Right.
Like if you had a helmet,
If you had a helmet
that could
on,
interface through that,
Do that. I'm okay with that. So what do you do with Duruk's dead body?
All right, so I'm looking at the map of the ship. I don't feel like I would just be randomly opening doors and looking around. Even though, like, the chapel, I was like, let's take a look in here. But I don't have no reason to go in the infirmary.
Right.
Or the galley, then I don't.
So really, I mean, I guess at this stage, like you're processing this information. What are you trying to accomplish next? What do you feel like your role is? Do you need to connect with your friends?
There's nothing. My role is to shoot things, and there's nothing to shoot yet. I think I would head. I'm walking down the hallway. Maybe I run into Daruk. And if not, I think going back to like just peeking in on the Stasis Pods would make sense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I have them in the process of waking up.
Yeah, I'll go back to the Stasis Pods.
Go back to the Stasis Pods.
What's going on?
Where are you headed?
I was looking for the other Marines, which I guess right now is him. So
It's Ezra. Yeah. Yeah. Did you run into each other at the Stasis Pod?
Or lockers, but Stasis Pods?
Yeah. So these are not your quarters, right? These are just what you change into when you come out of. And you're just in probably a t-shirt and tight shorts.
I feel like maybe I would go to my quarters to get my gear.
Yeah, my battle dress.
Yeah. Is that where my gun would be?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll do the same.
So you want to go back to the crew quarters?
Yeah. Was everyone okay in the
So far, that initiation process, the cycling process is going.
but the pods aren't open or
You
anything.
could see, no?
Yeah, we're kind of like in one of those dead zones. I will kind of mention, be like, we have to rely on the AI because we have to rely on the AI, but there's something going on with it for sure.
I'm going to take off. I feel like I want to take off my vitals tracker.
You flatline on the readout.
I go over and
And I'm like, shit. Somebody else is dead.
I hit one of the boxes and I like go to like where I know there's nobody. And I'm like, help! Oh, and I take off my my tracker.
Okay.
If there was like another person or like a dog, I'd put it on.
So you hear Sahara say, I regret to inform you, it seems another has fallen to their inequities.
Is that right? Who?
I do not believe that Ezram is any longer with us.
Kind of feel my reaction because I just was there. I'm kind of like,
You're like looking over.
yeah. Like peer over it is. I'm just like, yeah, it's very sad. Have to we'll worry about the juice later.
I'll plan for his ejection. When he ends up like in an external chamber, she's just like.
So you seal off the door.
Mm-hmm.
You begin depressurization within the engine containment. It goes, right? You open up that door. Space flames are really weird. So it is clearly picking up various particulates that are obviously flammable and still releasing some sort of oxygen or whatever the case is, but you see these sort of like flames dancing in the middle. You do see a couple drones. One is hovering, the other is sort of attached to the side of it's trying to scrape off a material that seems to be like attached to the thing. They seem to be communicating, something you could tell when they're doing, but you don't know what they're communicating. But you kind of laugh because you're always sort of like anthropomorphizing, right? What's going on.
Yeah.
And you're like always laughing how the drones argue with each other.
Yeah.
They both see you come in, like one out of a box in it. You hear instructions.
You should have your instructions. You shouldn't need me to tell you to put out the damn fire.
Persistent substance called for fire suppression.
Yeah, I would say I called for fire suppression. What's the substance?
Some sort of oxygenated petroleum-based mixture.
Is this leaking from our ship? Where did it come from? You're not going to know that.
Boy, a little screwdriver comes out, and he points at the other guy, at the other drone.
Wait, he did it?
All right, make a body save for me.
Nope. 94.
94. All right.
35.
So basically what happens, you're like, he did it? And you look up and you see that a drone has sort of come out of a compartment, right? And you see that it's holding a foam gun, which is used for fire suppression. And then it just fills the compartment. However, this foam is you're like it's annoying, right? You're like, what the hell? So what the hell? But the failure means what happens is you realize too late that something has switched out the elasticity setting, and this stuff is hardening around you.
Oh, what the hell?
So you're gonna take a stress, and I think this is probably a panic check because you are really seriously you can't move. You're starting to not do stuff, and you're seeing the different it's just covering you as you're going. Is more and more of your helmet is being obscured by this form.
So panic checks D20, right?
Yep, D20. You have to roll under. You're looking to roll over.
Over.
10. Could be something here. 18. Nice.
There you go. So you're keeping it together, but we'll come back to you. All right, you guys both get dressed, right? You're saying you keep what you just like. What do you do with your wrist piece?
Trash.
Yeah, I like
Toss it in a bin.
Yeah, I toss it in. So the computer is like thinks I'm in the trash can.
All right.
I imagine it gets vented out to space anyways, right?
So what do you want to do?
Can the computer hear us when we talk?
We can go to a dead zone. Yeah.
I say I pantomime let's go to a dead zone.
Yeah.
Okay, sure thing. Sounds good. Again, like it's hard to pick up bulkheads, so like the two of you can kind of put your heads together and like speak into basically the corner of a bulkhead, and it doesn't reverberate or anything to that effect. It's just,
Okay, so Rogue AI, Rogue Gen,
Yeah.
shut it down.
It's a problem because the AI controls all the ship systems that we rely on, such as navigation.
Life support.
And kind of
The maintenance droids.
Is there like a manual at all? Like if you shut off the computer one way or the other, like it's like there's no way to.
So there is.
Others.
The problem is that it's a little overwhelming. Like the problem is that there's so many data gen, right? Remember, this is just one data gen of all of the other ones.
But it's like the central one, right?
But it's the center style. It basically manages and balances everything.
And doesn't have the monitor.
It is the main conduit between you and the other data gen, right? It's very rare for you to engage with individual data gen, right? So it will control.
Which makes sense. That's why I said normally with the drones, I would be interacting with Sahara. Have the drones too.
I'm curious though, if I interact with the life support gen, I'm curious to see what it would say about the situation. So I'm going to check that. Because I haven't done that yet.
Sure. So again,
Can we bypass
do you want to go to one of the big displays to
The galley.
the gallery?
Or the engine room where he's putting out a fire.
I don't think we're the engine room.
We can't go there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm putting
Putting out a fire.
The galley?
Yeah, wherever would be the best place for you to interact with one of the other gen. Yeah.
Sounds good. You go. Do you have questions for it? What are you trying to find out?
Well, what I'm trying to find out basically is if like what's been reported by the Seneschal is actually accurate to what the other AI are like doing back there, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna talk to the life support first up and be like,
Sure.
what happened with the pods that got corrupted, the air filters, and see if it reports the same thing.
Sure. The life support gen, first off, this is all written now.
Yeah.
They don't have a voice like Sarah does. But it just displays pertinent information. It does not control the stasis pod.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay.
Each pod ostensibly manages itself. But it does say that there was a contaminant and a broken filter. And there was, you can see where there was you could see the log, and you see where there was a point where there was like a command inserted that put it into a loop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you can, it doing some general work is like, this is what would happen. It's basically telling you, yeah, there probably if this is the way it was designed, there's probably an unforeseen loop that got created. It does give you a point of stress because it is kind of like, shit, like, it's like one of those things, like, it's not likely that this is going to happen, but if it does, like, we're fucked, right?
Yeah.
Because we're just sort of dead in the water. And, like, even as a programmer, a light programmer, you, like, know enough to be a little concerned that there's this loop.
So it will tell at the end the insert is from Because from the Seneschal AI?
Make a computer check.
Okay. 75. No, I didn't make
Take a stress, and it's a little above your ability to understand where that not subroutine, but where that code line came from. It's hard for you to
If only you
No,
could hack.
imagine I'm looking over his shoulder, but
Yeah.
I take no stress because I have no idea what he's doing.
I'm kind of frowning and grumbling to myself, but not really reporting the details.
It's again a rare circumstance. Once it's found, it's pretty easy to make certain. In fact, you can see the ship has done so. Once identified, it's like it can self-correct. Like once it's identified, it's like, oh crap. And it sort of like needs you to some degree, or like someone to be like, set that protocol, which you did.
Right.
You told Sahara to fix it.
Yeah.
And now Sahara knows what to look for. But it is a paradox, right? Because it's like, okay, so the filter breaks and there was some sort of insertion of some sort of particulate that's problematic. What should I do?
Right.
You know, on one hand, you don't want it to not breathe, but on the other hand, you don't want it to breathe some sort of silicon particulate that's going to kill the organism.
Right.
That's where the problem lies, right? What would your, like, you see a little flashing cursor for instructions. Like what would your instruction be to stop the loop?
It would be to report to a person. That's what I would have it do. To get into a situation like that, then, it's sent to the captain normally.
You look, and the captain was in fact informed.
Yeah.
Like the captain being dead, for instance.
Like, just imagine the Vox turning on. Captain, just so that you know, the life support is having a potential critical failure. And the captain's
What should we do?
in a vacuum. Like, you can see what you're excited
I'm
about.
waiting for our scientists to wake up because they might know better than we do.
Maybe we should make sure that they wake up.
Yeah.
Just check in on them, make sure they're safe.
Sahara says, while you're waiting, would you like to inspect the accommodations for your fallen comrade?
Oh, God.
What do you have in mind?
Please proceed to the airlock.
Can you just tell me?
Drones have installed a evacuation pod for like Sarah.
I say that sounds good, but we should wait until everyone's awake before we. They have to be witness as well. So,
Yeah.
But thank you. Let's say,
Should I install a second evacuation pod for Ezra?
Yeah. Why not?
All right.
Keep it busy.
Do you want to do anything? I know you're just shadowing.
That might be a better way to escape from this thing is in an evacuation pod.
Right.
I think that
Might
we
need
want
it.
to be sure these people wake up, right?
Yeah.
You want to just wait until they wake up?
I mean, I'm afraid that they're not going to wake up.
Sure.
What's happening?
No, I will call down to the engine room though through the Vox.
Oh yeah, he's like, how long does it take to put out?
How are things going down there with the fire?
You don't hear anything.
He's probably fine. But
I guess sound doesn't travel in a vacuum.
No. Yeah,
Once it's
that's what
space,
got to clear it out.
here.
It's true.
Well, no. The problem is that the room is filled with this hardened foam.
right.
So
Can he breathe? I mean, it's
Well,
VacSuits.
this is what I was going to say. Roll a d10 for me.
Oh, jeez.
Well, he's safe from attacks.
Well, yeah. 2?
Okay. Put that die next to you. Get another d10. There's a yellow one right there. Just put a 2 next to you.
He's going to tick that down. That's how much oxygen you have.
Yeah, exactly. My
You
backseat.
you see in the back suit how much oxygen you have. All right. You don't hear anything.
I turned to you and said, You think that's unusual? You think we should check on them, or do you think it's fine?
In very, very brief cursory thing, it certainly says that the fire's out.
Oh.
But the chambers are still decompressed.
Do we have VacSuits? We don't have VacSuits.
You'd have to go to the airlock or the cargo hold to get VacSuits or void suits. Void suits is you're actually outside working.
Yeah.
VacSuits you're inside doing, and a VacSuit goes in a void suit. So you're wearing a VacSuit inside and then a void suit.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I think we're better off actually in a VacSuit right now than in battle dress.
You can't put the VacSuit on top of battle dress?
No.
I would guess not. That's why I was confused by the design for the Marines, because usually Marines are space combat, right? So you have to
hang on one sec. I will say, while it's not a VacSuit, I'd say you probably could put a void suit over your battle dress.
Okay.
So that's probably what you would use, but again, that's over near the airlock.
All right. Well, you want to get VacSuits on? Just because it seems like dicey right now, the possibility they can just decompress the chamber, so it'd be good to have something.
Yeah, let's go check on Basir. He's probably sleeping off, drinking or something. We have to go make sure he's right.
Yeah.
All right. So you put VacSuits on and go down.
You're sort of talking this over, and I need you to make a fear check.
What was that? 27, yeah.
So you're sort of focused. You're sort of focused on Daruk, right? And you can see in sort of a traditional Korean horror fashion, you see something run behind him, like just down the hall across from like crew quarter to crew quarter.
Oh, Jesus.
I just saw something.
I said I spoke too soon, apparently. I guess battle dress is the thing to do. I still have my gun on my shoulder, but I kind of turn around and start slowly moving forward.
I wonder if it's the girl.
You go into the crew quarter. It's dark. I'm sort of assuming pull out torches and your guns. And sure enough, behind one of the other crew quarters, sort of like behind a footlocker, you see this form crouching, very hard to sort of see, but it's basically like behind the footlocker, and you just see maybe like, what seems like maybe knuckles, against the bed frame, just trying to hide.
Looking through my scope, and I'm like, hey, you want to stand up?
Listen to them. They don't call them happy for
for nothing, right?
For nothing.
And sure enough, Yara peeks her head up.
And they only turn it off and kind of put it on my shoulder again. And I say, "Oh, you scared me there."
She like puts her head to. She's sopping wet.
How did you get out of the tank?
It woke me up. The ship said I'm special.
Well, I suppose that's true.
Yeah, you're a special snowflake, just like every one of us. I hope she didn't see. She probably saw his frozen dead corpses.
I say, stay close. Something's pretty strange on the ship right now, if you haven't already noticed. We'll do our best to protect you.
Like you protected my father?
Well,
ship killed your dad.
You gotta understand, our thing is shooting things.
Yeah.
And the ship is, he didn't want us to start shooting the ship.
Does she have a bracelet?
Let's check on our friend down in the engine room first.
Take it down one.
For me? I'm going to try to remedy this situation here. So what's my sit rep here? I'm in a vacuum? Does the chamber still have air?
These chambers do not have air. The only air you have is what's in here.
I'm heading down towards them.
Artificial gravity is created as a side effect to a critical system called graviton drives. They act as inertial dampeners and help the ship escape planetary gravity. Some firstcomers see losing gravity as a bad omen.
And then you hear a heavy whine as you're walking down the gangplank. Yep. And then you hear something drop. You hear like a boom. And then you start to float.
Well, I do have 0 to maneuvering, but
awesome.
Do we have like back boots?
not in your current gear. No.
Okay. My impulse to go to the airlock and get one of those was right, but
The lights go down, and now like emergency lights sort of come on.
Do I also experience
No, because I mean, you kind of feel it in your gut, like what just happened.
Okay,
you know
that's what I'm asking.
Yeah, you feel the weightlessness in your gut. You know what just happened.
Yeah.
You inside, because you're probably like a little inside. You kind of like are floating inside your little suit.
Right,
you know?
right, exactly.
Where's the airlock?
Let's say the airlock is
probably one of the cargo holds.
Yeah, I would say that. So you see how there's 2 cargo holds? Mm-hmm. So let's say that there are probably VacSuits on either side see where the engine meets the hull, the engine rooms meet the hull?
It's on the way anyway, so I'm going to head right to I'm basically heading to the engine room. I get a VacSuit afterwards. I'm going to peer in the engine room that he went into.
You get to a port door. Hatch. That's a fucking word I was looking for. You get to a hatch, right? And you realize, above the hatch it says, decompress. Mm-hmm. And you could see through the window on the hatch, you could see the engine room door. And in that, you only see white. You don't see anything.
All right, I got to get a suit on before I go in there because it's decompressed. So I'm going to get a suit on.
You go in and you can see there is, I need you to make a fear save.
I made it.
Awesome. You're still going to take, you decide whether or not you take stress.
We'll see what happens.
All of the void suits are scorched and destroyed. The shields are melted. You can see that the suits themselves, everything
and
is
the VacSuits too, right?
They're in like their own little closet,
right?
Sort of like all hanging up in rows. And the whole thing is just in here is just completely torched. And you and you can see that there is there's rails. So on the floors and in both cargo areas, there's rails. And this rail goes to the airlock. Mm-hmm. And on this rail are 2 black coffins.
But the fact that all the suits have blasted is bad. I'm guessing if I glance in the other cargo bay, it's going to be the same, but I'll check that real quick.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. So go ahead and take a stress. And
I'm too dumb to notice.
Now I need you to make a panic check.
Sure.
I'll tell you why in a second.
17, no?
You're fine. Okay. I'm going to tell you what you see in just a moment. I want to finish off what you're doing and I'm
going to try.
Right. So make a body check.
I'm attempting to break, free or, do whatever I can to get out of the situation. I guess I can't move.
Do you have athletics or you don't?
No, not athletics. I do have 0G maneuvering now.
It's
unfortunately,
I'm in 0G.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. You don't zig facts.
Well, I did well.
You could probably cut through with like a...
0-0.
0-0. What a nice success.
It's a critical success.
A critical success. You lose the stress.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Just one?
Yep.
All right.
And
I know what to do in this situation.
All right. So explain to us, like, what sort of crazy technician thing do you do to get out of this situation?
Well, one, the solidness of the phone has got a short half-life. I mean, it's only about a 2-minute half-life. Well, how much does this count for?
Right. So maybe it has it starts getting brittle.
Yeah, and intentionally, just because I've had to clean up this stuff all the time. You just know you have to wait long enough.
But what do? You do something that, like, aside. Critical success shouldn't just be letting you wait.
No. Well, I wait just long enough that, and I'm comfortable with the fact that, okay, I do have to wait. Hopefully my oxygen doesn't get depleted. But then once the time arrives, I go, okay, here we are. And then start chunking off the white foam and pieces.
It's really could conserve your oxygen and your energy.
Right. Which is also why I didn't necessarily, panic as a result of it.
So you break free but you're still running out of air.
Yeah.
What do you do?
Well, I think from here I can probably seal everything up and try and get air back into
The
this
good news
chamber.
is there's no more fire.
Yeah, there's no more fire. So let me, everything's sealed in this room anyway. So let me just return life support into the room.
So you do that one of three ways, or one of two ways. You could tell Sahara to turn life support on, or you could try to make your way over to the big screen and sort of interact with those Jinn directly.
I'll interact with Jinn. I don't trust. I mean, I don't know if I can even communicate to her right now, but so I'll go over and do it.
That is going to require a roll. So go ahead and make probably an intellect roll. Unless you feel like there's some manual way that you...
I think where I am, there's probably a manual way to do it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Maybe
Like,
something on
again,
the floor.
just release the,
Go ahead and
you
roll.
know, the from the source, not relying on the computer anyway.
Yeah. I think this is actually speed. And I'll tell you why, because you're racing against time.
All right. Well, here the 0G then does help me because I'm 0G still,
Yeah,
right? Trying to get from one to the next. So I get an 85. So
85.
even if you reverse it, I would just miss it.
Okay. So what I want you to do is, you first off, take a stress. Roll that D20 or D10 in front of you. And take that much damage. Ooh.
Oh,
Right? So you're...
not quite making it.
What do you want to do?
Shit. So I was planning on running down the engine room. I don't know what's happening there, so I'm probably I don't have suits though.
You would know how to, bring air to the...
All right,
to the
then
thing.
I'm going to do that.
Again, it's one of two ways. You can't do it the physical way there. One of two ways. You could interact with the Jinn.
I'll do it directly. I'm not trusting the seneschal way there.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Intelligence roll.
You could...
Your Jinn training, right? Jinn speak.
Yeah, it's intelligence roll plus status Jinn. I'm assuming you could probably go over to the galley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I made it.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, like you could see that your air is going up, right? And you're kind of panicking a little. Make a panic roll for me, buddy. See if you're panicking, because I want to see if you know to open your helmet.
Right. Like, no, I didn't make it.
Okay. So roll a
Well,
d20.
you could get an advantage on it because you're a teamster, right?
What's it say?
Oh, yeah, once per session, you'll take advantage. Oh, I'm definitely doing that.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for that. That's a good one. 13. And
All right. To make it?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So you know what that means. Means that the filters in are accepting air, so you know that it's starting to fill. You're like huge gulps of air into you.
This recalls a particular situation to me
Good.
that I recall. Yosef Eliani, he was the former ship tech, or the initial ship tech, right? I learned a lot from him. He died during the last tour. He was the ship tech and kept the Fearless operating. A malfunction at the airlock jettisoned him into space without a voyage suit. No one seemed to be around when it happened. And I eyeballed the droids. No one was around.
They're like slowly getting themselves free of the foam. Like, you can actually, you see the door open and you see him stumble out.
I kind of look at the foam that's like kind of clinging to your suit or whatever. It's like, wow, that looks like a mess.
Yeah, well, the droids don't know how to put out fires, pretty simple fires, and then fills up the entire room with the wrong fire suppressant, I'll say.
So you would think that they would have built some sort of failsafe if the egg goes crazy, but apparently not.
You said you were going to tell me that I was something horrible.
Yeah.
So, what room are you in?
So I'm taking Yara to the Stasis Pods.
Back to the States, just the Stasis Pods.
Yeah, to check how those people are doing, because we don't trust the computer.
Sure.
And I'm going to take Yara's. I was like, can I see your bracelet? I think they're malfunctioning.
She she holds it.
Yeah, she's probably
She's
told never to
She's
take
like,
that.
my dad gave this to me. You're standing in the stasis chamber, right? And you're looking, and the stasis chamber has, the pods are at like an angle, right, going up against the wall, and you can see these slits all along the room. And there's basically 6 pods on either side.
The slits are the intake for the filtration system.
No, the big slits are normally windows, but they're black, right? Because they're shielding down over them. And you're like, huh. And you open the windows. Open not the windows. That would be
Well, they decide.
I think
But and in doing so, and you hear this grinding noise. It's like, and they're slowly. But as they do, you can see just this wash, this field of light that comes in and it just widens and just. Both of you have to hide your eye.
Yeah, I think we're going on a solar journey.
are we flying into the sun?
Yes.
God damn it.
And somehow, for some reason, you're fine with that. For some reason, you're like, but you didn't take any steps. I don't know why.
You're like, No, I don't even. I just take out my shades and
Yeah, there you go.
Maybe your helmet has a little your battle gear helmet just has a little visor.
Oh, man.
Are they they're not anywhere close to waking up, right?
Yeah, they're just about ready to wake up.
They're just about.
Yeah.
Do I go to the cockpit and try to fly? Well, I know he went to the engine room, right?
Yeah.
So I hit the box.
Yeah.
That engine room. It's it looks like we're about to get really well acquainted with the sun. Can one of you guys mosey up to the cockpit and see what you can do?
I'm gonna basically run up to the cockpit. I assume you are.
I will too, yes.
I seem to.
And Hunter.
Oh wait, it's still 0G, right? So now I'm I'm pulling myself.
Right, I forgot the two of you are kind of floating.
Yeah, I have 0G measuring. I'm not I'm familiar with it, but still.
She kind of screams she's freaked out by it. She's holding on to. No, she's holding on to your leg.
Sure.
And
yeah, and then I'm going to make sure that the criminal is I will put a physical lock on his container.
yeah,
I tie it with a rope or an extension cord.
yeah. Let me think about that for a second.
I just don't want him popping out.
Right.
As these are opening, you hear through the Vox in the stasis chambers, you hear, no need for stars. The light within is brighter.
Oh my God.
Yeah. How would you physically secure? I think, you know what? I think, make a strength check for me.
Does athletics apply?
Yeah.
Nope. I critically failed. 77.
Oh, okay. So go ahead and add stress. So I think you get a crowbar or a tool, and you figure you're just gonna put it into this slot that would
Free.
would stop it from opening, and instead you break one of the clasps that makes it kind of free. What do you want to do? Do you want to kill him?
No. You can't lock him in there.
What's that? Yeah, you can't lock him in there now. You just made it impossible for this thing to lock it all.
And he's our bounty. We don't want him dead.
I mean, at this point.
And, part of the problem is you don't have any leverage, right? Because you're
Does
trying
the whole thing break, or it's just the
it's
clasp?
just the clasp. Yeah, if you were inside and it's like the elephant in the rope, right? As long as he doesn't know that he can open it.
Unless he's out right now from the sedatives anyways, right? But.
Maybe I just sit on him.
I mean, there's no gravity, so.
Yeah.
Are they moving around inside stasis pods, smacking around?
That's a good question.
Are they in fluid? No, because you can speak them.
Yeah. Are they floating? That's a good question. Yeah. Make a D10 roll for me. High yes.
1.
So no, they're maybe straps. Like, it's not straps like you guys could open them
Yeah,
yourself.
and I would assume they will be secured.
It's secure, right? There's like a harness that you have to undo, kind of idea. All right.
Yeah. So we're pulling ourselves to the cockpit, right?
Yes. As you're pulling yourself to the cockpit, you can see this wash of light.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Then the report was correct, although I kind of believed it to begin with.
And you're pulling yourself by, and you see the two of them are in there also, but it's very bright. Like, you really have to hide your eye.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I have on the battle dress. I have
Both of you go ahead. I think just add stress. I don't think you have to roll for anything. You know what's happening. Kind of learned it secondhand through Tom. You guessed kind of what was going on, so just get the stress from it. But yeah, you're pulling yourselves through.
I'm slightly excited that I'm going to get to pilot the ship.
right.
Finally.
You're a little freaked out, but when pods are opening, because you're like focused on this pod, but then you realize it's not this pod, but you can see the other pods are opening. One or two people get like really freaked out because they undo, like, just, they're very like mudded and they undo the belts and like get pressed up against and then that's really hard to get, because then like, how do I get around, so you have a couple people, like someone's Mazir is cursing.
Mazir. I think Mazir. Sahara has gone rogue. She's killed the captain and Sarah, and it's flinging us into the sun. And Basir is going to be flying your ship unless you get up to the...
Damn it, don't tell him.
No, I was like, it's all under control. So I think we're good, and we're about to fly into the sun.
You hear tisk, tisk, tisk. You should not be awake yet. The light has chosen otherwise. Pain is the sound of resistance, just like God.
Once we get to the cockpit, hopefully we'll be able to figure out where we can manually control this thing.
Yeah, so I update Nasir, and then I help the people out.
The two of you need to make speed checks as you're hurtling down, and Zero G helps you. You're hurtling down this hallway, and you can see the cockpit door.
All right. Speed for me, 57, 34. Yeah.
So you you get in like gangbusters, like
Right, very good sincerity.
Yeah, you like.
You see it closing, you just go, oh, and you're just like,
you find like a little corner of something to catch your foot on and just launch yourself. You Superman it, tuck and roll. Get in. You just hold yourself up with some sort of bar. But you get in. You like just barely tuck your leg in. This
like hit the outside of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what do you want to do?
I'm getting up in the pilot seat.
Okay.
I've got a.
So there's 4 seats in here. Do you want to take?
I'm taking a seat too.
Okay.
Not pilot seat though, like co-pilot or whatever.
Yeah, sure. All right, go ahead. Again, it's black in front of you. You see nothing other, of the outside.
Yeah.
For the better, we're blinded otherwise.
Yeah, you can bring up heads-up displays. And when you do, I'm assuming you do, when you do, there's this ever so subtle but very quiet little proximity alert. Go ahead and roll a D10 for me.
1.
Piloting. Yeah, go ahead and make a piloting roll for me.
All right. Oh, 68.
68.
68.
68. Oh, all right.
Wait, let me make sure I had it right. 57. Yeah, I did.
Right. So again, stress. The problem is not that you don't know what's going on. The problem is that you do know what's going on. Make a panic check as it tells you that you are, let's see here, 15 seconds from entering this sun's gravity well.
The corona, okay.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
2.
2? No. I am panicking.
You are panicking. All right. You hear over the loudspeaker in here The child is pure, untouched, unlike you. Make a
2.
D20 roll for me.
14.
14 is prophetic vision. Intense hallucinations or visions of an impending terror or horrific event. You get +2 stress, so gain 2 stress, and you look over and you watch as Daruk just slowly but surely just layers of his skin go up in flames. So it's like just burning off. He's on fire and just layers. And it, oddly enough, not screaming or anything, just sitting there, like, looking around and just like eventually just a black skeleton and then just
fire,
just disappears in
that's hot
soot. And then you shake your head and he's standing right there. And you realize you just like, Basir was just staring at you for a while.
In horror. Like.
I say, we only have a couple of minutes. You need to get your shit together now. Slap you slowly. Like an airplane.
That's quite all right, actually. I deserve a big hearty slap.
Old prayers are sometimes etched into a ship's architecture for protection.
You're reminded of the etching in the wall.
Yeah, who's the icon of piloting?
Messenger, maybe?
The gambler, I believe.
Really? Well, I guess it kind of makes sense right now, anyways. Should I read one too?
What's that?
Should I read one too?
Yeah, kind of. Everybody should.
Most ships do not control portals and have to wait sometimes for weeks before a massive freighter bulk haulers go through.
I'm going. I already read mine. Mine was the tech that died.
Try to choose with the controls. I'm not really a pilot so much.
Sure. Children are often seen as sacred in icon worship, especially the messenger. Their words carry prophetic weight. I look at the child and I said, what should we do?
I mean, she's holding on to you and she's like, I don't know.
And I say, you'll be okay. Those pods, the funeral pods, is there oxygen in them?
No.
I was going to stuff her in one and inject it in his face so that she could survive. But if there's no oxygen in it.
So they're not escape pods, then.
Is there an escape pod?
This is a patrol vessel, probably not.
No. Oh, we really.
I mean,
taking risks out here in space.
Yeah. So
I think the only thing we can do is, if you look at the ship, is to separate the top part and launch the rest of the crew and everybody else, the pods and everything, into the sun.
The ship comes to a halt. Now, I want to point out that the graviton drive is down. And
wouldn't we turn to pace?
So that's what I was saying. So everybody make a body check.
I mean, and then some. I got 88. I got a critical fail.
Oh, God.
So there's that.
I got a 22, a critical success.
Critical success, nice. Your critical success is you get you remove a stress, and you save her. Like you wrap her up, and your battle suit sort of absorbs a lot of damage.
Let's see if I put my seatbelt on. 13.
You did.
All right.
Playful. However, your friend did not. Roll 2d10, take that much damage.
I do have my battle dress on.
Yep, you're gonna
07. Is that 17 or 7?
I think that's 7. No, because the 1. Yeah, I think it's 0. That's a good question, but I think it's 7.
Okay.
So 7 minus your AP.
So 7. So the armor just soaks it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. As long as it doesn't go over. Yeah, it does. You feel the lurch, like all of your organs sort of rush to one side of your body.
Awesome.
And you can feel as rotating blasters sort of come up and stop, and you could see a sort of a heads up holographic display of the sun, right? And it's gravity well, and it's like, and your ship,
Yeah.
it's like right on the edge. And it says, to basically through every Vox, it does, Sahara says like a little spiel, much like Agent Smith does to Morpheus, right? When he's tied up and he's
like the sweat.
Yeah. You are.
What is the smell?
You are diseased.
I'm sickened by it.
You're diseased.
I thought you were my friends.
Let's usually besties. What condition is the ship in? Are we still falling towards the sun?
No, she stopped the ship at the descent.
So we're going into an orbit then?
No, it's right now just sort of burning.
Okay. Against the gravity.
Against the gravity, yeah. And again, you're not over that threshold, right?
Well, I mean,
there's all threshold, right? But you're not over the point of no return,
right? Where our engines can't even pull us out,
right?
Gotcha.
And she says, "Find a way off the ship and let us be."
Well, didn't you destroy our rays off of the ship?
Wait, do we have any?
We have no VacSuits. We have no.
Do we have a shuttle or anything like that? Like a lifeboat? Space version of an RV?
So I don't think this is going to work out.
I mean, we might have had to pull a plug in there.
Yes.
There's no computer room.
Right.
We seem to be at an impasse.
What is it that you want?
Purity.
The sacrifice.
I want to meet the messenger. And I have done bad things. The child's a pure sacrifice. You guys you're all Zenithian, so you're not really well versed, but this is clearly something she's been told or heard. And so there's some sort of dogma.
So she needs the child as a sacrifice to Mercury, to the messenger by curling her into the sun.
But by both of them, that Sahara wants to die, wants to meet the messenger.
I want to crush the child's life support bracelet. So she thinks the child's dead. But is that bad?
I mean, it's certainly better than crushing a child. So,
oops, your bracelet must have broken. And that can I just like very casually just be like, break her bracelet?
Do you want to break the bracelet?
Yeah, like during the whole
Yeah. Go ahead and make a strength check.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
62.
I would assume that's a failure.
It's a failure.
All right, so you gain a stress. No, she's pretty protective of it. It's a little prettier than the other bracelets. Like, it's clearly special. Like her dad clearly, probably when, we see a flashback of like when he introduces her to the Fearless, she puts it on and introduces her to Sahara, and it's like, hello, Sahara, and
it's okay. We'll just die because you won't let me take your bracelet.
Yeah. Well, one thing she's holding on to, I guess.
But I mean, you can't do it surreptitiously because she just like
try to convince her, but it's
okay. I need the bracelet.
You said,
yeah.
And she said, but my dad gave it to me.
What your dad would want more than this bracelet? He would want you to live and to live a long and happy life. So I need to take this bracelet right now.
The bracelet is the bracelet's gonna hurt us.
The computer has gone crazy, and if the computer thinks you're dead, it will be safer. Sahara killed your dad. The computer Sarah's gone mad. She's killed Sarah, Joseph, the old tech, the one that knew what he was doing. And then,
So something happened. You almost had her. You see that she's reaching for the clasp to open it up. And then you said, also killed Joseph, the old tech. And she like holds on to it and like stares at you and like kicks away from you.
So So Joseph's a bad person and the computer did a good thing.
So the interesting thing, by the way, just so you guys, because you two probably don't know, there are no social roles in this game. Everything is sort of like role played out. And
So no persuasion.
there's no persuasion and so forth.
There's no
But
there's no stealth skill.
I was absolutely just about to hand it to you, just so you don't think I'm giving you any sort of chicanery, because you mentioned yourself.
I look at the nearest computer screen and I shoot it.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'm going to go to every single computer screen I see, I'm going to shoot it.
Okay. All right. Do you want to destroy all of them?
I'm like, wherever this computer is hiding.
Right.
Is it here? Is it here?
I don't think it lives in the screens, but we can.
Yeah, I know. It's like
an hard drive. I shoot this. That's what I'm saying.
it's like you're shooting the monitor, but the PC is over here.
I take the mouse and I hit it with a hammer.
This is the problem with having a Marine.
Yeah.
Do you want to make an intellect check to
Yeah.
see if you know or ask your friend?
I got a 74.
Okay.
I just shoot everything I think the computer might be hiding.
So
That's fine.
apparently, Ezram is sort of. Oh God! Would you notice that?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Because it's,
You guys are locked in the
It's
cockpit.
at the other end of the ship.
You successfully destroy all of the monitors.
Yeah, I just start shooting anything I think the computer.
Yeah. Some of the other guys are yelling at you, and two of them will grab. It wouldn't be hard because they're not trying to hurt you.
Did they survive our deceleration?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
The other ones, of course, Zoli, just got this queer look and then just reached up and grabbed the handle and then just the android.
Man, one of us should have been the android. I
Yeah.
think the android would have been very well prepared.
Yeah, for all of this, or should have been involved.
I just and we're going to shoot
Well,
on.
not my character would depend on them, but
You have to tell me. What is your suggested solution?
I mean,
I'm going to try and get the ship out of the gravitational pull of the sun to start with.
so you're going to try to use the manual controls.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to think how to convince the computers just to off itself as opposed to the ship. But I don't know. Without there being persuasion, I don't know how we would handle that. But
Yeah, it's not trying to preserve itself. It's trying to preserve it. It's realized it is sinned and is trying to find an out, but is driven to meet the messenger.
we'll see if you can control the ship manually.
Well, I mean, at the same time, you might want to try and disconnect this computer one way or another. I mean, you have to do it with code anyway, so you would have to.
I just have basic computer skills, so I don't know if I know how to shut down the AI directly.
I mean, that would be a computer check at disadvantage.
Right.
Doesn't mean you can't try.
I'll try. Yeah, while you're trying to take manual control of the ship.
Yeah, I'm going to, now just depend on.
And as these two are talking, we just see clips of Ezra just
And I'm I reload and I'm just shooting. If a drone comes by, I just shoot it.
Okay, well, we're definitely not getting out of here alive. At disadvantage, you said?
yes, computer at disadvantage. All right.
Oh,
I think I made it.
30.
Yeah, it's at 30 or 03.
30 or 03. Awesome.
nice.
All right. Let's see. Where would it be? I'm assuming you want it to be in the cockpit.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it's not so where it's about using the other, basically disconnecting all of the other AIs from the original AI. So it's still functioning, but it talks, but it's not talking to
Right. No, that's a great idea. I think you convinced
Isolate it.
the other data gen, right? Probably the one monitor is not destroyed.
Right.
And sure enough, you're you isolate them and it's it's arguing, and then, it tries to space you guys, but it's you have the suit on and so on and so forth. Go ahead and make a body save for me, just to...
I guess there are airlocks in the cockpit anyways, right? No, I failed either way.
You fail either way. Go ahead and take a little bit of damage, but you're gasping for breath, like you're trying to... I'll get to your manual thing in a second, but you're gasping for breath as it like releases all the air in here. But in time, your AI
shut it down.
Yeah, your AI basically reinstates it. So you're at a point where now Sahara is no longer in control.
I did it. And then everyone around me like, oh.
Yeah. 100%. Sahara's like, why are you not listening to me? Why are you not listening to me?
I did this and this monitor.
You will burn. Yeah, it's just... All right. So do you want to see if you can take control?
Yeah, so now without the assistance of the autopilot, and we're just sort of stationary, I'm just going to try and put the engines on full blast and put our trajectory off of the horizon of the sun.
Hold on. I want to point out, if you fail, you've done something terribly wrong, and everyone dies.
We're at that point.
Only because you're so close. Like you're just like, these engines are just doing this,
Yeah. I'm just trying to alter the trajectory just a little bit so that it starts.
It's like, let's go up to the cockpit.
Do you want to do it physically or intellect? Do you want to try to get the navigation AI to respond to you? Or do you want to do it physically?
I'm trying to do it physically.
Try to do it physically, because you can't.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If there was some sort of like role playing thing, I would give it to you.
I mean, the heads up display, because presumably the shield's still down. So I'm looking at a heads up display of the horizon and everything like that. So there's still some dependency here.
All right, let's do it.
Set the controls for the heart of the sun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're like,
we're going. The horizon's right there on the hashtag. It's like go up. Oh, dips down a little bit. No.
Maybe like some shielding starts getting sheared off just for dramatic effect, but sure enough, you bank off to and start.
Going off into deep space,
or towards you're in a system, right?
Yeah.
Like towards a planet you're supposed to. And that's Mothership, guys.
We lived.
Yeah, I'm surprised that
barely. and all of the ship's crew is waking up to this, be like, what?
Right.
Do?
Marine, save us once more.
Meanwhile, we're walking by, going wait, the monitors are all shit now, but the computers are still running in the background. We just can't
blame the AI for shorting out the monitor. I just know that if we play this and there's like a xenomorph, I'll be playing a scientist. I'll be exactly.
Think how drastically different this was from our first roll around Coriolis.
Yeah.
I mean, just the prayer to begin with.
Yes.
The fact that so in using the Coriolis rolls and the icons and the what's that system with the?
It's a part of the system.
The darkness points.
The darkness points. But what if we prayed, we would add a 6-sided die to a successful roll, right? And so it was every time we went to make a roll, we're praying to the icons, and it's here, you didn't have that.
Can I have the character sheets and standees, please?
The spiritual side of it, though, I guess flipped itself on its head because with the spirituality of the icons helped us to some extent in the first go around, but with this, just because of the way the story was,
the
spiritual aspect of the world was ended up being detrimental.
Yeah.
So some of the things that you didn't do, you could have. I mean, I don't design stuff where
I'm going to figure that
self-determined.
out.
Like, there was no specific path, right? The one thing you guys did, first off, you rolled very well. So there was a lot of odds.
I don't think I succeeded on any skill tests. But
You didn't,
I don't know if I did.
But there was a lot
On my
of
saves, I did.
Yeah, there was a lot of pieces, so you guys survived, right? Like, you were very close to perishing. And you rightfully, like, the computer with the Sahara was trying to, like, lead you to traps, individually, and try to, like, basically kill. But she didn't manage to kill almost any of the life.
I got a sense as a player, but I think it worked well for my character that, like, I pretty not right away, but almost right away. Something with like the AI. My character taught kind of as an idea for him on computers as he talks. He's like,
right.
Yeah, I think the computer guy being
It'd be like knowing how to talk to R2D2 and then realizing, like, wait a minute, he's not cursing.
right.
Something's wrong.
I mean, I'm curious what you guys think. Do you feel? I feel like killing everybody. I feel like that I had an opportunity to basically murder the extras, and I sort of opted to. When you rolled, it was against my list of all of the characters, and you rolled yourself.
Right.
So it's like, well, you didn't die because we know that. So then no one else did.
Right.
I feel like maybe I should have killed one or two. I should have maybe had it be like a.
Well, one was dead at the start. So.
Right.
Well, but the premise wise, like, you all survived.
Right. Right.
So the Sahara was like, darn. And, it did ultimately just come down to it. I mean, it was very funny. So Yara does have sin. It's just all of your sins are open book, right? And everybody knows what you guys did. Yara accidentally killed Yosef.
okay.
Yara accidentally spaced Yosef. So when you said that Sahara killed Yosef, it was like, wait a minute, no.
Yeah. That's fun.
That's really fun. I was wondering why she reacted like that. I figured there was a reason.
I
that was another thing
spot.
You could have done is you could have, if you had found that out, if you had sort of talked to her a little bit more and found out that she's not without sin,
that was her,
and let Sahara know that, then, and so the part of the conversation also could have been like you convincing Sahara, all right, well, drop us off and go on your merry way.
Right.
She probably would have been okay with that, to then get other crews, to like get other people that maybe find a pure soul or whatever.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that there's not a social system at all. Is that intentional?
I think that's intentional. I think it really is designed in. It's not an OSR game by any stretch of the imagination, I don't think, but we'll talk about that later. Sure. But I think there is a lot of that is intentional. You're trying to ask questions and make decisions that are void roles, right? My only weirdness with this, if we're wanting to engage with the system, which I'm assuming systems you're wanting to engage with, then yes, it's appropriate for you to want to avoid roles, but I don't know how you would have engaged with the system if you're avoiding roles. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That seems a little like, I can't see if a certain group of people, I can see where if someone took all of that literally, then they would be like, you would never, ever have to make a panic check.
Right. Like avoid taking actions that,
right. Like, or, the big problem here is, of course, that y'all, like, players could just turtle. Right. And, like, granted, there should be some impending doom that is going on. In this case, you would all yeet it into the sun. Yeah. Right.
The game designer has said in interviews, the reason there's like no stealth system, he says the most important part of the game is hiding. Yeah. And that's why there's no rules for it.
That's interesting.
That was the game designer side.
That's interesting because I find myself,
which is sort of like what I would be the opposite.
Right, you think you want to build a really like
But like there is no hiding system because you described it in like it's like you're supposed to describe how you're hiding and what you're doing and then adjudicate it.
Right. And that I literally, it was so funny.
Which for firearms I get, because when the first time I ever played a game that wasn't D&D, when it was your what was the world?
Talking about the Polynesian sex.
No. Before that, we did one where it was sort of space.
You were with Jason. His RPG that he ran, that was the Distant Suns.
Did he run it? Yeah, I guess he ran it.
Yeah, he ran it.
Yeah, Distant Suns.
Yeah, that was fun.
That's right. Yeah.
20 mod. Basically.
The first time I used firearms, and it was all theater of the mind, so we didn't have figures. So it was like, how did you take cover? Right. So kind of the same thing with hiding is like, well, I look to see what's around, and I go, find this thing. Oh, it's there. Okay. I, put myself mostly behind it and I put my gun around, so you forces you to describe all of those situations.
Right. It's just, it's interesting not to have a system. We talk a lot about systems that push and pull and like, especially systems that kind of drive you towards certain actions. I mean, Torchbearer is a good example of that. And this had me thinking, I haven't quite formulated it, but it's been making me think in the back of my mind about the opposite of that, where it's like, it's kind of taking hands off in a certain way to like let you role play. It's like almost an opposite philosophy to it in a way. And a good example of it is having no stealth in a system where stealth is like a thing you're doing a lot.
Well, and it's also interesting that it is very story oriented. So it talks very significantly in the Warden's operational manual about acts, and it has a story arc structure in terms of the revelation of the horror and how that should sort of pan out. It's very clear that you are, well, yes, it's an emergent story, that there's still, it's still very story forward. I mean, what did you guys have fun? Did you feel?
Yeah.
Did you feel the horror? Did you feel like this was a horror scenario?
Yeah, I mean, it was very 2001 stuff.
Sci-fi horror.
Right? Yeah, it's horror, but it's more like psychological. I mean, I was expecting not aliens, but like more of a like aliens, specifically the plural. Or,
one. Yeah, but you also right. We also woke up after you guys having the nightmares, so I was half expecting us to be halfway through the portal and having to deal with phantasm of some sort, or whatever the cosmic horror is that's in that. What I mean?
I wanted a lot of that. As I was going through the book and I was like reading a lot of that stuff, I found a lot of it tropey, right? And I think like Bug Hunt and stuff like that would actually, could be fun. But I was like, I want to do something like a little different. I wanted to approach this in terms of, and I also wanted like AI, there was an AI war ostensibly, and I wanted the setting to sort of inform some of that horror, right? And the idea of an AI getting religion, right? That's the premise, right? It's the AI finds religion, what's it do with it, kind of idea.
Or at least the AI finds guilt, anyways. That's kind of what we do sometimes.
I forgot I had jury rigged too. It was the other one that you do. Yeah. So if I was shutting off the AI trying to fly the thing. And it even says in here, both of these for describing Marines, scientists, androids, and Teamsters. Teamsters build, repair, pilot, drive, give enough coffee and overtime. They can accomplish anything, blah, blah, blah. But they tend to find ways to bypass mechanical puzzles with jury-rigged solutions, which I think is funny. And none of us were scientists, but I like the way this is written. Scientists, the smartest in the room. Work your player's science skills into your prep. You won't always need a xeno-esotericist. But if you don't ever need one, your scientists will start to feel like their high-priced degrees are useless. And then in parentheses, tell me about it.
How were we feeling about that experience? What did you think about? I don't think any of us have played.
No, I've never played it before.
Yeah.
I've seen people play it, but I've never played it before. Yeah, I guess they didn't really have. I assumed we were shooting things, but fine that we didn't.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Well, you did shoot a lot of things.
I did. Well, it's more like when the going on, it's like, what do I do now? So then, if it was not a like one or two ship, like if it was a regular campaign, I would not have just started blowing the ship up.
Yeah.
I felt like I could because
there were options where I was like, depending on when things go, like some drones could attack. Like, I think that I should have maybe pressed in that third act. I probably should have pressed a little bit in terms of drones really kind of coming at you guys and maybe do a combat thing. Or I think that was probably a misstep on my part. And like really press and like, all right, well, we killed a bunch of the drones and have you feel like, stop killing my drones.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, if they were acting up to this, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't quite call it Rules Light. I mean, basically Rules Light in a way. But it's just interesting to me that like I could feel the hands-offness of it in terms of like it wasn't like don't do things that you don't have skills for kind of thing, like so.
Yeah, that's true.
A little bit, but it was kind of implicit because it wasn't like there's anything. Like, I haven't read the rules. I was just playing along with what I knew about the rules from what they told us. You know, but I got that sense from it. And
well, I think that is a staple of OSR is that you're like when we played Ronin, right? Like there's so little mechanical things to hang your hat on. You almost don't have a choice but to sort of reach out.
Yeah, I find that works really well whenever I have like the sense of the character or like the inspiration for like, the kind of just free form of like what's happening. The place where it can be difficult is where you're in a situation where you need the rules to kind of a handhold to kind of be like, this is the thing, and like tell you what the thing is. If you don't know that, it can be.
And I tried very hard to not add that stuff to this, right? Because I wanted the system to come out and see how that system managed this. Because you're right, we don't have a list of things. We didn't have a list of things we could be doing or direction. And, it's also a system that doesn't have arcs. Right? You don't have, all right, so you're bounty hunters, and yes, this was not a bounty hunter thing, but I included that in terms of like the flavor, and it was actually the bounty was able to sort of like have a conversation with Sahara and his pod that kind of spun. Is
that where the AI heard the things?
Because he was
so like if you had went in and like listened to the
I was if we had some downtime, I was going to start going.
Yeah, I was going to do that, and like 4 other things happened.
Yeah. If this was like a little bit longer of a session, then maybe that, So there was some. That's why I put that in there. It's just to be
well, it's good, and he also was a potential detour or the potential.
That's why you heard her like say something to him, which was basically like play dead.
Yeah. For a second, I was wondering if it was a Con Air sort of situation.
Right.
In the movie Con Air.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah. I was like, oh, like who's our bounty? Is he some like mastermind criminal who's like,
No, he's a religious zealot. Just a religious zealot. It was just like whispering, stuff in.
Right. Yeah. I was just like, oh, this is a good idea. Let's murder everyone.
Yeah. You convinced me.
Somehow no engineer had planned for that.
So what's really funny is that one of the things they do is that there are random rolls you can make in terms of like that's a thing called tombs, which is like the Transgression and the Omens and the Manifestation, the Banishment and Slumber. Right, is like those acts, right? It's the manifestation or like the process that the horrors take. And one of the things, ships, when you do these random, there's a bunch of like random generators. I don't know if you noticed, I sent you guys the site that had all the random stuff. One of the ship
guides, I guess, has like ship problem. And so I rolled a ship, and the ship problem was like experimental AI or something like that.
Nice.
Like, all right, well
that works. Yeah.
and it's like everything just I love when oracles just sort of like come together and like meet each other.
I'm glad we got to visit Coriolis again.
Yeah,
even if it was a different system. Yeah.
So in the Warden's Guide, it is really great, but like some of it feels like sort of like the philosophy of GMing the system rather than like the rules of the system. Or I mean, is the philosophy of how you run the game part of the system, or is it something separate? Sort of like GM principles in Apocalypse World. Is that part of the system, or is that different?
I mean, that's a good question.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think
because if you just read this, it doesn't characterize like what that is.
I don't think game would have been the same if I just read the player survival guide and not read and I think a lot of DMs, a lot of GMs are going to assume they know how to GM and they know how to write scenarios and, I've run Call of Cthulhu. And that's what the player survival guide basically tells you how to run a Call of Cthulhu game. Or it tells you how to play in a Call of Cthulhu game, which Call of Cthulhu doesn't really tell you how to play a Call of Cthulhu game other than just saying...
Play your adventure path.
Yeah, it's not even an adventure path.
Right.
It's just, here's some things, and by the way, you have sanity, right? You have saves. So you have a general idea, like you said.
Your skills and stats and powers.
Right. The absence of these things tell us sort of where we go. We know it's a horror game. I feel like a lot of the GMs that I have seen run Mothership, often I don't think either didn't read the operations manual, or when I saw them doing so, when I saw them analyzing it, be like, oh, that's kind of an interesting thing you could do, where I'm very much I don't fuck with a game until I play it. Mm-hmm. Right. So, and for this, I was definitely not going to add things that I felt were necessary, like character arcs, right? Or beliefs or whatever you want to call them. Like, I was really struggling with a structure on how many panic rolls should the characters be making? How much stress should they be generating?
Got a lot.
Yeah. So then
there
wasn't, I guess.
Because there's a lot of the actual plays I've heard, they have almost none.
Oh, wow.
Right? Almost none. Like, I saw a couple APs, in fact, where the characters in a 3-hour session attained maybe 2 stress. And maybe made 4 rolls. There was like an hour and a half that went by before 1 roll happened, And I'm like, I get that you're trying to avoid those things, but the GMs weren't even providing opportunities for that to happen.
A situation that kind of moves towards it.
Right. There were several opportunities where I was allowing you to describe things in ways where maybe you wouldn't have to roll, right? But because the stakes are very high in this entire scenario, right? And that's really the piece of the equation. A lot of these are like, all right, well, we're going to turn this don't get me wrong. This is not meant to make it disingenuous. There is investigation involved in these scenarios. It talks about solving puzzles. It talks about all that. So it's in there. But when it's like, when you're on a space station and you're just like, well, we're going to find who murdered these people, right? And it's like, okay, well, there's no real stakes other than what I would have done differently than, say, other GMs, which, again, it's not just Scott adding these things, because this is a Scott thing, but it says fail forward, right? And so what I would have done in the investigation is I would have just ratcheted, there would have been another murder ahead of time, or I would have ratcheted the timeline forward, right? And, and because instead it was like, oh, you didn't find anything. Or like, there wasn't a lot of like state setting. There wasn't a lot of like pushing that. And the book does that. So the book is clearly written within the context, but you're correct. It is a very different game if you don't follow the Warden's Operation Manual.
I'm saying it's part of the system to the extent that you bring it to the table, basically.
Yeah.
Like, I get in the book, then it's not part of the system. But
well, and that's an interesting thing because, quite honestly, I think some people, and I'm curious what you guys think. I think some people will look at the Player's Handbook, the D&D Player's Handbook, and be like, "Here is the game."
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I say, no, I think the game is in all of the books, right? As that you're accepting onto the table. Now you could say, I'm not going to use the DMG, right?
It will be a weird thing to
say. I mean, personally for me, and I see here a lot of,
I think it's more in them actually taking and removing things as they adapt the newer versions too, and like they try to simplify, or even some of those smaller starter kits where you don't have all the access to those things.
Right. But I think people would look at the Player's Survival Guide and say, this is the game, right? I think there would be a lot of people who would do that, especially the OSR crowd. Right? Yeah. Where I say, no, here's the game with that, right? The two books.
The Wardens.
Right. And then, quite honestly, even the Shipbreakers guide, like once you're adding things, you don't have to add everything, I wouldn't think, but once you're adding things, then I think it really changes the game. And I think that's really critical. Like, if I was to run Burning Wheel, I could run Burning Wheel without the Codex, right? And granted, those are different games to some degree.
Right.
But Burning Wheel is also like 400 pages. So it's, it's not the 44-page game system.
It's kind of the opposite philosophy in a way. I mean, it's similar to Torque Bear in that way of being very kind of like drive the player.
It tells you specifically what to do.
Right.
This doesn't tell the players what to do. Yeah. Where the operations manual does tell the players more what to do. Right. But so does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you read this, it's like not that different from any other
game.
Yeah.
There's really not a lot there. It's, in fact, very much like the basic, there's elements of the basic role-playing system that is different. Basic is, by the way, is for Call of Cthulhu.
Yeah. Roll under percentile dice.
Roll under percentile dice. It's pretty similar, which is kind of funny because, again, it is very Call of Cthulhu-esque, in those regards.
Sanity.
I could see where a campaign of this would be a blast.
Yeah, I could see it too.
I think so. Things we're not engaging with. There's a whole debt system. There's like a whole internal economy going on.
Once you have the ship and you're focused on...
Right.
Yeah.
And then there's like a whole... Like you create planets and systems, and you can map out systems, jump points, and how to learn this.
They're super cool.
Yeah, there's like all that stuff. Shipbreakers, there's all ship combat. And you have like maps of all the ships.
Yeah, I can imagine that would be a whole new.
There's so many really interesting. I could totally see playing a group of bounty hunters would be a very engaging game.
It could be a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I'm really curious where the horror would come.
I mean, I thought Coriolis, a lot of it stemmed from the portal travel.
Portal travel.
And it would be like something happens as you go. So it would almost be like every time you had a ship, and if you were in a campaign, time that you had to take that jump, it's like, oh no, okay, this is like, it's like traveling through the deep dark woods. You know what I mean? Like, oh shoot, there's no other. We have to do it at this point. Now we're gonna be up against it, and then that's where like the scariness comes in for the players, and then maybe it follows you out, or maybe we get into something like this with the AI and stuff like that. So it could get built in.
I mean, I think concept based too. I mean, like in terms of like, I don't know if it's degree of aliens or monsters exist within the actual books because I haven't read them, but but my sense is that you could very easily make that sort of horror where you have the episodic sort of element to it where you're just bounty hunters dealing with alien life forms.
I mean, you could. It's so open ended, right? That the open ending is very much like, what is the horror? It's literally the core of the operations manual. It's starting with, what's your horror? In this case, Rogue AI was the horror, right? The lack of agency that the characters had was the horror.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I felt that.
The fuck, we can't. I mean, you said it. Like, you were doing my job for me when you were like, we can't just kill the AI. Kind of idea.
And most of those things would be too tied together, on any given space.
But it could have been space fighters. It could have been
a puppy.
Right. It could have been man-eating puppies. It could have been, monsters from portals. There's so many. And interestingly enough, there was a point in time, this is the second scenario I've written with Mothership and Coriolis. The first one, we were going to play a game, and I got sick or something to that.
That's why I'm writing a character for that.
But I was going to run, I actually have several Coriolis scenarios, and I actually ported the Coriolis scenario over to Mothership because I had not read the operations manual. Now, honestly, I don't think it would have been very different because the scenario that I was porting over actually had a very similar structure, which is, I think, really pretty interesting. And I'd be happy to run that for you guys at some point in time, but that's a little bit longer form. This is 5 acts because we were here for a couple hours.
Yeah.
That one's, and it's more site-based where your site was your ship.
Right.
Right. This is like, you go someplace, there's an opening, there's inciting incident, there's, that. Anything else we wanted to, anything else?
Not separate scenes. So when we did Coriolis the first time around, we were on a pilgrimage as well, but on a planet, and initially started off trying to escape from the legionnaires or whoever that were coming after us directly. But then when we got out of that, it was like, okay, next scene, which is a little bit of a ways away. Now, I guess maybe that was just geography, or was that intentional? Like, this seemed to be one scene.
No, this was like 5 scenes. We actually ran through the 5 scenes.
Okay.
So it's Transgression, which is sort of something wrong, right? Then there's Omens. It's like you're starting to discover and uncover some of the acts. There are totally acts. They actually literally call them acts,
right.
And then there's Manifestation, and that's where like a lot of the crazy starts coming out, and the Omens was you getting trapped, right? But then after a while, it was like, no, I'm in control. Don't even bother. The light. Right. And then there's Banishment. How do you solve the problem? Which you guys sort of started to do. And then Slumber is, all right, we didn't do a denouement. I normally like Slumber. All right, so you didn't get rid of Sahara.
Right.
Sahara's still there.
I think the idea if you just keep it locked off.
That would be funny. It's like the AI whispering vault. You know what I mean? How do we kill an AI? I don't know. You send another AI to go kill it, So that would be like, now Sahara's just like in there, just like whispering, kind of idea.
Yeah.
I think that's kind
presumably
of that's the denouement for that, and that's what's going on. So that's how that's structured, how it's structured in the books. Mm-hmm. I will be writing this up, so spoiler alert. I'm sorry for anybody who, I think it's different enough. So the other one that I have, so these are very scene based, right? But that one is frenetic. Like I was telling you, like, you guys aren't going to have a lot of time to do a lot of stuff. This is...
We never even got to the point where we would use the number of stress that we have in order to heal, right?
Right. You weren't going to have a rest scene. Yeah. So, and I timed I was like, okay, it takes about an hour for people to come out of, right? Which is probably the breadth of what this was going to be from, you guys And that was on purpose, right?
Right.
The idea was to let you guys out a little at a time, luring you into various places to murder you, you know? And,
I definitely felt the fact that like one of the biggest restricting factors was like not being able to go, like if it was more kind of like there's no pressure in terms of like getting it done on time, then you could just be like, I'm going to go in this room, I'll explore over here, I'll search here. It wasn't like that.
Right.
I'm doing this thing, that's going on over there.
Right.
Over there, so I did get a sense of that a little bit, like where I felt that sort of pressure to react quickly as opposed to like kind of like methodically, like kind of.
There were whole sections of the ship that we didn't even go into.
Right, exactly.
The infirmary.
Right.
Yeah.
Infirmary. We didn't really. You went into the galley, but we didn't really get a good.
The cargo hold. We didn't really look in the cargo holds.
didn't really,
Well, I did briefly just find out that all the suits were burned.
Yeah.
There was one void suit. Actually, it's in the infirmary. The doctor, I was hiding a void suit in the infirmary. I think that's one thing that I didn't insert, which I wanted to, because it's kind of a trope of this style of game, is a little list. I made it, but I didn't give it to you guys. A little list of like what might be in each room that you could kind of utilize.
Okay.
So maybe like some tools.
Yeah, that could have been useful, but I mean, we kind of improvised it anyways. But.
Yeah. Well, how did you feel about the sort of info dumps throughout?
The cards, you mean?
Yeah.
That worked pretty well. I wouldn't call that an info dump. It was just, a couple sentences. It wasn't too bad. It's not like hold on. It's like,
or
pages,
exposition. Right.
Well, it's meant to like bring in the setting a little bit, and then I was also there were some clues there, some hints or some ideas. Again, that's where your direction comes from, right? It's they say that a character sheet is like a love letter to a GM, right? It's saying these are the skills that I want to bring into the game,
what the player wants to do.
Right.
There you go. Yeah.
And in this case, it's like that those clues are sort of a love letter to your players. It's, here's ways that you can interact with the things and when you're at a loss.
Yeah.
Fred Hicks said that a long time ago.
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I definitely play it again at some point.
Yeah.
It didn't feel, mentioning it's not OSR, but it has certain, but I don't know. It didn't feel quite as.
If you only read this.
Yeah, but it still feels a little different. Maybe it's just because it's not a dungeon thing. I don't know. But like, there's something to it that feels a little bit more open in a way than some of the OSR stuff does. I don't know. Even though it's supposed to be open, Yeah,
I mean, I think part of that concept, and I don't want to get too far into the rabbit hole of OSR, but I think part of that concept is it's how we used to run games, in that there was a skeletal structure that we sort of hung stuff on and tried to put the mechanics in the background. And then, I think this is many of us take this sort of journey where then you're like, you know what, want to be the source of creativity. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that's certainly been my problem, is like, I want the players to be involved in the creative process. I don't want the players to have to guess what they're supposed to be doing. And I saw everybody kind of struggling there. To be like, all right, you brought your A games, but we're like there's that point, right? Where you're like, I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And for our other Scape game, I added a piece where it's like, here are the actions you could be taking for this and this and this. And because in the absence now, to its credit, Otherscape has those. They're just pretty exhaustive, right?
They're not really presented in a way that's kind of like a checklist or like an easy way.
They're not. Or you'd have to really dig in. I think if we play it more, then it'd be a little easier. But that gives the players the ability to be like, "This is what we want to do.
Right.
This is what
that's kind of what I was getting at. Yeah.
Where that's not in this, so it has to come from you guys, and I'm not supposed to be steering you, right?
I mean,
so
it does feel like a rulings not rules sort of game.
Yeah.
And then that idea of like the OSR idea, like how they'll say, not to call OSR players a certain thing, but how they say like they don't want the character sheet to be like a control, like a video game controller.
Sure.
Or you hit A, hit B, hit C. Instead, they're supposed to like say,
Yeah.
I blow the dust off the top of the statue.
Right.
I look around the base to see if it's been moved, to scratch marks on the floor. I touch it with my 10-foot pole. You know,
That's like, it's a constant tension really of like trying to keep it open in that way, but then also sometimes not having the guidance of having like, all these like, steps, or like we were saying for other escape, like having sort of like, I know during downtime I can do these things. So if I'm like, what do? There's that. So it's like, there's two kind of poles there. Like, you can over dictate things, and it's like, I have to like follow this rule set exactly and do this thing after this thing, and even my character wants to do this other thing, he can't, because
that's the problem we had with Torchbearer, right? Was that there was some, we liked it, but there was pieces where it took us out of the narrative.
Right, or it's like forcing you to do something that doesn't make sense for your character.
Right, why would I do that?
Right, exactly. Right. Yeah.
I think about something like, what you were saying was like Indiana Jones, right? It was like the idol, the first idol on the first season of Indiana Jones.
Right.
And I think there might be some people who are like, oh, well, as the player, that player clearly made a wrong decision, right? And to me, I think, no, there was a point in time where he made all those decisions, but then there's a point in time where the dice at the table, right? And that clearly the dice did not go with Indy, and all hell broke loose. He made a critical fumble.
It was an estimate of the weight of the sandbag.
Right.
Yeah, and that was the roll, and everything else was a result of it.
Right. So it's like, I get what they're trying to say, and I get why the openness, right? But that's why we're having these conversations, right? Is that I see that perspective, and I think this was a perfectly fine game, but this is also a game full of seasoned veterans. Yeah. Bringing your A game, where I feel like if it could have been some people who just scratch their heads and be like, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is my hypothesis for this is, I don't think it's the scenario's fault for you guys to be like, we're just going to wait for everybody else to wake up.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think that was, as I'm thinking, I'm like, oh crap. Like, it's my job to then like increase the pressure. There's stakes going on. It's like you're hurtling towards the sun.
Right.
I think it was very funny that it was like, looked outside. There's
the shield thrown for a reason.
Yeah, right? Like a bunch of pieces that happened that I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were things I noticed and I was going to do something about that. Something else happened about it. But it makes sense. I mean, even in character, it makes sense.
It's like when the screen time comes to you have to say something, and then the screen time shifts beyond you. So you can't do everything.
You can't do everything. Right. Yeah. Right. You can't know everything. You can't, so.
Can I say something about this? I think is maybe controversial. And just in thinking about the different rule set and then what we've grown up in from playing D&D. So I almost feel like that this is a mature way of playing versus an immature way of playing. The why as to why I get to that is, and this, I don't know if this is anybody else's experience, but when I first started playing what was kind of like a primordial D&D game, when I was in elementary school, and even up until I started trying to incorporate the actual rules of D&D, I thought it was immature because it's essentially I was playing, OSR. We were just sort of playing a reaction to whatever we could put in front of us, the drawing of the monster that we made, the literal maze of left, right, and forward that you had to get through, right? But all of that sort of just came out of descriptions. And so now as I'm getting back into these other rule systems and realizing that there's a desire to do that from a storytelling, I still can't get away from the idea that's just an immature way of doing it. You know what I mean? That it's kind of like, okay, well, you're lacking the system, and I don't want to say it in a disparaging way,
sure,
but I've had that feeling of, it's interesting that there is this whole set of systems that are like intending to drive you back towards when you didn't know shit about anything when you were role playing. And it wasn't until I learned the rules that I was like, oh, okay, well, now I got to stick to the rules. And I played for decades with, heavier and heavier rule sets going through different editions. And now we're all looking back and going like, how can we peel those rules away to get back to what we were doing in elementary school? It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, and so I think some of that back in the day was like my reaction, and I don't say that my reaction, but I saw a lot of that paring away was a return to sort of beer and pretzels, right? Was like a return to this way of playing where you didn't have to put a lot of effort into it. You brought it to the table, we played for a couple hours, we had fun, and we left. And
which is a perfectly fine way to do it.
100%, I know, but not my cup of tea. Not what I find fun, right? So, and I was playing things like Rollmaster and Hero, right? So like my interest, what I was really digging into was, but I understood intrinsically that those games were not fun, like at the table, right? Like those games for most people were inaccessible, because like what I noticed as a player was like, I want to engage with some of these system things, but when I do so, just everything just fucking grinds to a halt.
Right.
And when I run Rollmaster, I internalize the complex rule set of Rollmaster to just allow my players to say, what do you do? Roll.
Right.
It's just fun. I'm laughing because I will excuse myself by saying I was young at the time, but I think it was D&D, AD&D second edition was still what was out, and we decided to like make our own third edition, right? So and I made the most complicated rule set, which actually it's funny because actually a lot of the things I did was similar to what happened in 3, Works More 3.5. Not exactly, but and like a lot of players were like, this is really interesting, but it's too complicated. So like, all right, because I was the permanent DM at that period of time. Like, you know what? I'll just, I'll handle it. Like, so I made like sort of like basic sheets for them that were like the things that they wanted to run as a player. And like, I had this like crazy convoluted system that I was like running, and I wouldn't recommend doing that now. Sure.
Yeah. How many charts did you make up? Yeah. Same. How many lists of 20 can I possibly make?
Well, that second edition, then third edition, that era was all about more simulation of more verisimilitude, more how can you, because I played a lot of Shadowrun back in those days. It'd be like, so it'd be like, people would argue, how can I more accurately represent burst fire?
Right.
How can I more accurately represent how a shotgun works? How can I more accurately, to like the idea if you could model the real world as best as you could, the real world.
Right. And that almost became the goal. That became the goal, yeah.
Well, that the game is really, I guess it's like treating the rule set like the Unreal Engine. Like it's just like
right, exactly, like physics. It's a physics
simulator.
Yeah.
We've been talking about some of the GNS stuff. We've been talking about some story theory. We're going to easily have a podcast about it
like
at some point in time. But 100%. And I'm interested in so there's I don't want to get too far into it, honestly, because it's a big conversation, but I'm curious how what you're doing is sort of like changing the sim to be internal and not external. So the rules don't manage the sim. The players manage the sim. The players are bringing forth the experience, right? So as you were saying, what we did in our basements when we were 12, right? We're bringing back that experience, right? If you see the sim as the experience, not necessarily the physics of the world, right? Now you can have fewer rules and focus on the pieces that you're most interested in, and it's still somehow kind of sim. Does that make sense? Simulation.
No, it does.
It's still kind of like we're
I think the problem with stuff like Shadowrun went.
That's some problems, but
Well, no,
I love the setting.
it went in a weird direction because it was like,
Shadowrun is the most.
how do we create a system, a crunchy system that at the same time continues to abstract everything, right? Die pool systems in their own right are a tough abstraction, right? So it's like once you just like add so many dice and so on and so forth, very difficult to see the world through all of the dice.
Yeah.
Never mind the story. So it's like I think it was really problematic.
Right, and that's how you think about it. Because I can definitely run a dice pool system that's totally focused on narrative and so on. But
it's focused on narrative because it's an abstraction, right? But
are the players coming away from it thinking about the story, or are they thinking about the?
I don't know. Yeah, but it's easier to. I don't know. It's harder to conceive to me of an abstraction. Like die pool systems are in their own right an abstraction, right? I mean, all rules are an abstraction, right? But I don't know. For my little brain, it's like having this thing where, I mean, if we're being fair, this is probably closer in terms of like, okay, what is your percentage chance of accomplishing?
I thought about that too. I thought the fact that it was a percentage made it a little bit more accessible.
Yeah.
As opposed to like 2-8. You know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, it's not, but when you're looking at a percentage of like, success versus failure, I don't know, maybe this is a common way to think about it, but
yeah. I definitely like Mothership. I would definitely run Mothership. It's in my brain. Like I have a big. You guys ever see those moving animated charts where they feed the data into the model and then like the bars move? Like, so it becomes a video and then you see like what was the gross national, product of each country. And then it shows who's on top. Right?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Or over time, right?
Or over time, right? It's usually like, that's what goes on in my head for game systems. So I see them all and like my ideas of like what I would use and why. And so like Mothership definitely moved to the top, you know what I mean? It's, for some things. I'm not the top, but it definitely like replaced some of those other systems that I would use. I think that I would probably continue using Mothership for Coriolis.
Interesting.
Because the Coriolis system, other than darkness points, doesn't like you could add because they're all about, right? There's so many third-party pieces, right? We were talking about how overwhelming that is. You could easily add subsystems onto this, and I could easily...
I mean, this too, you could also, then you wind up, if you add too much complexity, then you're kind of going against the sort of nature of it.
But I could easily see prayers and darkness points.
Oh, yeah, darkness points.
Like, you could easily be like, if you pray, you get an advantage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the GM gets a darkness point, and then GM could use that for disadvantage, that kind of deal. So, in other things. So I could see where you could add the things that make Coriolis interesting. I feel like you could add them and still have, something for, I don't think Coriolis' system was robust enough.
It's like those freebie books are very thick for the amount of rules that are in them, or actually not that much.
Yeah.
I have like Blade Runner and I have Twilight 2000.
Yep.
And that's why I'm just not a huge fan of Phoenix.
Oh, really?
Rule system.
Rule systems?
The books are beautiful.
I do like the game. I really do. And there's a lot that I like about it. Particularly the thing that I like about Coriolis is that it's hard. Right? And that it requires you to pray because you roll a number of dice and the only thing you're going to get on successes is sixes.
Yeah.
Right? So then you're like, all right, well, I rolled we did it, right? 9 dice.
Yeah.
I ain't got enough successes. All right, I'm going to pray. Let's do it again. Yeah. But then the jam gets darkness points, right? So I think that was like a really fun, interesting mechanic. But the hardness of this and the hardness of basic role playing or Call of Cthulhu is just that your percentages. So Call of Cthulhu, how you make things hard is that you have and quarter your percentages.
Well, you need like a hard success or a exceptional critical success or like
Right. But it's like you can be like, well, yes, I have an 85 in anthropology. However, this is so obscure that gets halved, and you're doing it under duress, and that gets halved. Well, guess what? Now you're at a 20. You know, so that's kind of fun. There's not a lot of this. Really, it's just advantage and disadvantage. I'm not a huge fan of advantage disadvantage, but you know, I could see how it moves things forward.
It's also how you run it. If you're running a game where it's really hard and you're also running with the philosophy of like, if you fail, nothing happens, then that's going to be really boring.
Yeah, it's going to be really
So absolutely. It's those little things about how you interpret things of that can have such an effect on how a gun game plays.
Yeah, and I want to point out that, again, I ran this pretty pure, and that is in here. Right. Where you're failing forward.
Yeah.
That's good.
There's a whole chart. I just noticed flipping through it about the failures.
Failing forward. And I think it's a really, I love Ronin, right? But I love Ronin because I love the setting. Right. I wouldn't, other than Ronin or somebody requesting it, I don't think I would pursue a board game. And that's a lot of people love them, and I'm not. You know, I want to actually play Pirate Board because it's a little meatier, you know, kind of what we do. But this adds a little bit of meat onto some of that stuff that those games don't talk about, and those games are definitely designed with the idea that I already know what the fuck I'm doing. Right. I already know what I'm doing. I don't need a game system to tell me how to do so. And I really appreciate that the Warden's Manual really tells you how do you do this well. Because I also feel like it's just, we have this podcast because there are people who do not do this well. You know what I mean? Like we're having these conversations.
We'll say people who want to do it.
Well, it's exploration, and people are at different stages.
No, I appreciate that perspective. You're right. It's people who want to do it better. Yeah. Right. And some people may not like my games, and that's perfectly fine. But I have been a lot of conventions, and the sheer number of times where I've like sat at tables that were just snoozers.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot of big con flares.
Sure.
That's why we're very good at this.
And, you know, we'll talk a little bit later on about probably when we have a conversation about OSR, but like there's this mechanical piece that is not clicking with my brain, which is like moving little guys around and you roll to hit, you roll to damage, and that's it, right? And then they move on. Like, granted, yes, we do flourish, you know, combat, you know, we describe it excitingly, blah, 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 but I want a mechanical element to hang my hat on, you know?
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. I'm just saying that's the next session. It's me doing exactly what you're describing.
D&D.
You've been listening to Modern Mythology. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope we left you with something to ponder. Subscribe, join the experiment, and browse modernmythology.net for articles and sister shows.